to me! I cannot walk alone! You block my way, brother!
I know!
Stand aside then! If you will not help me!
No!
You fool! You will die!
Yes! And this time so will you!
So you pity me, Caramon? You bumbling, harebrained slob! You who are incapable of comprehending the power that I have achieved, the pain I have overcome, the victories that have been mine! You dare to pity me before I kill you, and I will kill you, my brother! I want you to die with the knowledge in your heart that I am going forth into this world to become a god!
I know, Raceland! And that is why I pity you, for I have seen the future. I know the outcome.
You've seen the future? How?
When you went through the portal, the magic field affected the device, throwing Tass and me into the future.
And? What will happen?
You will win. You will be victorious, not only over the Queen of Darkness, but over all the gods. Your constellation alone will shine in the skies. For a time.
For a time? Tell me! What happens? Who threatens me? Who deposes me?
You do.
What?
You rule over a dead world, Rayston. A world of grey ash and smoldering ruin and bloated corpses. You are alone in those heavens, Raceland. You tried to create, but there is nothing left within you to draw upon. And so you suck the lives from the stars themselves, until they finally burst and die. There is nothing around you, nothing inside you.
No! You lie! Damn you, you lie! Kiramon, I will pull the thoughts from your head. You are weak. I will know the truth. The bones of the world. The blasted rock, the rising smoke. Emptiness. Emptiness. Chrysania! No!
Leave her alone! Haven't you done enough to her already?
She's not dead! Not yet!
No, not yet. Leave her alone! Let her at least die in peace!
She will live, if you take her through the portal.
Yes, she will live, and so will you, won't you, Raceland? I take her through the portal, and you come right after us.
Take her.
No!
Take it! Take it and her and yourself back through the portal. Use the staff and close it behind you.
I'll not let you deceive me again, Raceland.
No, I'm not lying. I've lied to you before, but not now. Try it. See for yourself. Look, I release you from the enchantment. I cannot cast another spell. If you find I'm lying, you may slay me. I will not be able to stop you.
Fine.
Hurry! I will keep the Queen of Darkness from following you, but my strength will not last long.
What will happen to you?
Begone, Garamon! She comes! You blubbering fool! What do you care what becomes of me? Get out!
Goodbye, my brother.
My queen, this time I do you no homage. It's your move. Shut it! Shut it, you fool! Leave me alone! I don't need you anymore! I don't need you! I don't need you!
pre-recorded in a second-floor guest room filled with tall ales and taller tales. Join a group of grown men intent on discussing the intricacies of fantasy and science fiction. Tim Gilbert Media presents
Dungeons and Dweebs!
I like to go battle axe because it got it right to the back of her heart.
Hello, all you fans of emotional half-elves, incompetent rulers, and drunk narcissistic knights. This is the Dungeons and Dweebs podcast, episode 24, Dragonlance, Test of the Twins, part 2. I'm your host, Bob. Like Bonnie Tyler, I ask, where have all the good men gone, and where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising odds? Isn't there a white knight upon a fiery steed? Late at night I toss and turn and I dream of what I need. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero until the end of the night. End this book. Chucky Butler Boy the Sixth. But I'm not alone. Across the table from me, he would do anything for love. But so far, this book has been a total eclipse of his heart. But we'll see if in the end, it'll put a spell on you. Hey, turn around, bright eyes. It's Luke.
God. Will you write my Tinder bio for me?
Will you write my obituary?
Holy cow, that was cool. This is, for a long time, our last Dragonlance themed episode.
Till next summer.
Till the summer of Lance 3. We'll get to that when we get there. At any rate. No. Spoiler alert, we actually plan things ahead. We got things planned out a little bit ahead of time. You'll never know. At any rate, to my left, do you think doing alcohol is cool? It's Klob!
Welcome, my young apprentices. I tell you, this constant autumn rain in the Midwest continues to drag your old Uncle Klob's essence further through the mire towards the dark side.
Oh, God.
Goodness, I love this time of year, but for the sake of stopping me from starting to make more Horcruxes, let me see some sort of sun, or at least one of the moons. I'm starting to have to admit that maybe Raceland, Magneto, Darkseid, and Thanos had some good points. Across the table from me, he's still trying to wrap his head around the fact that Janet Van Dyne, the Wasp, is also, in fact, a wasp. Get it? He's the Crave to my Malfoy, the Juggernaut to my Sabretooth. Paul, how are you?
It blows my mind, guys. I can't figure it out. I can't do it. I don't get it, man.
That legitimately took me that long to figure out. She's in fact a wasp. What? Oh!
There it is. Yeah, it's good to be back. Last episode for Dragonlance.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Sad.
For a little while.
for a little while.
Hey, we'll be coming back.
Like
don't
always.
worry.
Like always.
Yeah,
You always
for
got to
sure.
go back to the Lance.
Yeah, but here we are. Our last episode in the Dragonlance universe. Test of the Twins. Oh, man. I'm excited to dig into this one.
Oh, where to even start?
Where do we begin?
Well, I'll tell you where we're going to start. Let's start out with, just like this book, just like Test of the Twins, let's start out with some filler. So on the last Dungeons & Dweebs podcast, we had some tavern talk. And on Tavern Talk, we talked to Brendan, of course. And Brendan keeps coming up. And then we talked to, Anthony and a couple other people. And then, Jesus Christ, the last half of this book is all stories.
Yeah, you're
Paul, I believe you were reading Star Wars comics.
I was, yes. Hey, guess what? I'm still reading Star Wars comics.
Oh, yeah. Have you guys
Let's
heard
go
of
back and take that story about Mara Jade and let's flesh it out a little bit.
Yeah. Hold on.
I have a dog named Mara Jade, and I've been watching a lot of Shameless.
Luke, I believe you watched some terrible cartoon or something like that.
I was sick.
You were sick. Yeah.
Well, so should we go back and restate what we think about the Chronicles trilogy?
Probably, yeah. We probably should.
I feel like we should just play last week's Tavern Talk.
All right, hold on. I'm bringing it up right now. No, I'm just kidding. But hey, as long as we're talking about filler, I might as well buy some for us. Why don't I get us around? We'll jump into Tavern Talk, and then we'll start discussing filler.
And I know it sounds weird, gentlemen, but I found this beautiful druid sparkling water that actually has a high alcohol content to
what's
it.
it
So
called?
it is called the White Robe Clam. And let's go have a little bit of that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You can drink that while you're wearing your UGG combat boots. Pumpkin spice.
I was in a relationship
I swear to you,
with
man.
the
Woman with the blue dragon, she brought me up to her room
Boy,
last night.
did she have good
Where's
time.
my corn purse?
Why don't you fellas follow me into my
plastic
cart?
tender.
I'll show you all my glorious goods.
What'll it be, boys?
Tavern talk. Well, we're all cozied up around the fire on a crisp autumn evening. We've got our drinks in our hands, but I'm more interested that you ignite the fires of my mind, Luke. What have you been doing?
Well, Bob. Actually, I do have something I want to bring up. It was something that was kind of like in the middle of last time. It's more Netflix stuff because I had been laid up ill for so long. I came across this documentary series called Ugly Delicious, and this is nerdy. I'm going to say in a different sort of sense, but it's definitely nerdy. I would say that the title, and don't judge this documentary by its cover.
Okay.
Ugly Delicious is a documentary all about awesome foods and culture and like where these foods come from. And each episode has a theme. There's there's Italian, there's Chinese, Japanese, Korean.
Right.
They go down all of these and they kind of come back and like, okay, well, how has this come to America? And this chef, and I should have written his name down because I actually have notes for my tavern talk. And I didn't like do good notes, but he is hilarious. Super funny dude, very interesting. Everybody he brings on the show is super interesting. I'm just going to give that my highest recommendation right
put
now.
it on my watch.
But I've just been on like this weird like food kick. I don't know, like I don't actually cook too much for myself, but like I want to. So I've been watching like how to cook, and then it just kind of turned into like watching Ugly Delicious. A couple of other things I've been like. I'm just gonna rattle off a couple of Netflix things really quick. Netflix, if you're looking to sponsor a human being, I'll take a free subscription. I did watch Follow This. Follow This. It's I'm gonna say definitely geared toward the younger generation. It's the story of how people at BuzzFeed go get their stories.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little weird, but I thought it was very interesting. The first one is about the whole ASMR thing. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. There's like these like whisper people on YouTube.
Maybe our listeners are not.
Well, if you are, hi, welcome to Dungeons and Dweebs ASMR, and it's super. ASMR as a whole is super weird, and like that's like what the trailer for this series is about. And it's like the author for this article going like, well, I'm pretty sure it's not porn. And she goes in and investigates it. They go through a bunch of things on there. Also,
Rule 34 of the internet.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody's made one. I mean,
there's porn for that.
if not, I think I know what I'll be making.
Now that you live alone again.
Yeah, it'll be great.
And also, just a quick shout out for I Am a Killer, documentary series about. I'm just your average white hipster, and I just sit around and watch documentaries. That's my life.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm a killer. It's all about people who are on death row who've been convicted of killing somebody, and it's the structure of it. Amazing. Mm-hmm. Absolutely amazing. But I'm going to stop talking about my Netflix addiction really quickly.
Netcast.
And I'm going to just throw it over to Klob. I do have some listener feedback, but I think we'll come back around.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Truthfully, I know I'm super late to the boat here. I finally started watching Stranger Things.
Hey!
All right, welcome.
I'm not jumping on that boat yet.
What?
Yet.
Pretty good. Actually, I dig it. However, I will say when you're overtired and like I said on the last podcast, I have a puppy now. So I'm staying up a little bit later sometimes. When you're overtired, don't watch Stranger Things. Because then I put the puppy down, I live alone, so like things go weird and that the house creaks at night, the curtain shimmers when I'm laying in bed and I'm like, my kitchen light started doing weird stuff. And like right as soon as I started
Talking to you?
right as soon as I started watching, and I got like 2-3 episodes into Stranger Things where Winona Ryder's doing the whole light bulb thing.
Yeah.
I walk into my kitchen to get something, and I flip the switch, and my kitchen like bursts and blurs.
Oh no!
It's like 11:30 at night.
God, the timing on that.
That's awful. Yeah.
Really, other than that, I trying to get through this book.
Spoilers.
Oh no! Don't say.
But trying to get through this book. Other than that, just training my dog, watching hockey and football. But you guys told me I couldn't talk about that.
You
anymore.
can't talk about it.
So, Paul, I don't know if I'm in a safe place anymore.
You're always.
Hey, you're in a safe place with me because I understand the pain that you are going through as a Minnesota sports person fan. All right, the hockey and football pain has been hard.
You don't watch hockey or football.
Yeah, I watch both. I'm not as fanatic.
No, you just read Running Magazine.
yeah, right. No, I have not read that once.
Shut up. There's nothing wrong with Running Magazine.
Oh no, there's plenty wrong with Running Magazine.
How can you fill 12 issues about running?
I don't know. That's kind of what I'm wondering.
What are you talking about?
I mean, then
You're mostly
again,
selling gear.
I was gonna say I have read some like mountain biking magazines and things. So yeah, it's mostly just selling stuff.
New in the world of running. If you move your legs faster, you go faster.
What?
Yeah,
That's what I've been doing wrong.
like everybody can do it. What are the articles about?
Not everybody.
Not
I've
everybody.
seen some that. All right, moving on to my nerd thing. As I was saying last time, March 8 comics, I was stuck on that, and I'm continuing on.
You're getting sucked in,
I
right?
kind of am, and it's bad. I read through all of the Dark Empire comics. I mean, there's only 6. And now I'm on to Star Wars Classic. I'll be very honest, I'm really enjoying going back and reading comics that, I mean, they're older, but they're fun.
Yeah.
That's the best description I have, is they're just fun to read. I had never read them as a kid, and now I'm
that's
getting
funny.
into it.
Funny you say that because that's where the age thing comes in because you keep calling them older and they still are new to me.
I know, right? I know. I'm sorry, dude. But when they came out, I was like 3.
Like,
so
you read those new Dark Empire comics?
I'm sorry.
I mean, they're newer stuff, and you're like, oh, they're real old.
I know. Okay, they're not the like 1971 that you were showing me that I
There's now
kind
like
of want to
this
read through.
weird 3-tiered system almost of like the old, and now new Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah. That I'm not.
The
I don't wanna
eldest.
I don't want to talk about the new Marvel stuff. That
I haven't touched any of it.
I've
I
read through a few of them, like just kind of because they were free off Amazon at one point. And it was
Not
one of those
impressed?
where I was kind of like, eh.
The one that came out, I don't remember the title of it, but I'm too lazy to look it up right now. But the one that came out right before, I almost called it New Hope 2.
Well,
It is that.
The one that came out right before Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Came out that was supposed to be it was supposed to be canon. It wasn't too bad. It was
Right.
it was
Right.
decent.
Right.
There was one about Vader that I was kind of like, okay, I enjoy that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, that Star Wars comics, I'm slowly falling deep into that. And it's really enjoyable. It's a good, quick read before you go to bed, and then you dream of Star Wars.
This is true.
Is there a comic that deals with the ice cream maker man?
Oh, yeah,
No, in Cloud City?
In Cloud City.
No.
Dude just running around with the ice cream maker.
Bob, what about you, man? What have you been up to?
Oh, well, since we seem to want to bring up movies and things that we're watching, I watched a great golden oldie that I somehow missed in
Oh my god, you were
childhood.
showing me clips of this today.
The Ice Pirates from 1984, I'd seen probably the VHS box at a video store, but never rented it. It is probably the best of the crappy trauma film-ish kind of schlock that was coming out. Star Wars came out and everybody tried to emulate it. There was some successes like Alien, is a good example of something that was greenlit because, Star Wars had made sci-fi cool again.
Crawl.
Yeah, Crawl is fantastic.
I love Crawl.
I will defend Crawl to the end.
I love Crawl to death.
Yeah.
I just want to say, dude, I saw the cover of, my guess would be like the VHS cover.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
It is.
I need to watch this now.
You need to watch it. I would the people who are, I think, our audience, most of them probably already know Ice Pirates and are wondering why am I so late to the game? But if you're all a fan of Crawl, if you any of those kind of schlockier films,
Crawl, Last Starfighter.
Yeah.
Are you guys saying crawl or
Krull,
Krull?
Krull.
What is this movie?
Okay, okay.
God.
Let's throw it out here. We are going to do sometime.
Kroll sounds like something I need like a medicated mouthwash to get rid of.
You know, we have thrown around us doing audio commentary to a movie. I feel like that might need to be our first one.
That could
Audio
be our- that could be
commentary
our
track.
First, our first streaming. Krull, Krull from 1983. A prince and his fellowship of companions set out to rescue his bride from a fortress of alien invaders who arrived on their home planet.
So
That's
Spaceballs?
kind of awesome.
I just have to get a list of these like 80s movies.
Oh, they're
from you
fantastic.
and just kind of
Yep.
run through them because they sound terribly amazing.
Together they shall rule the planet, and their son shall rule the galaxy.
Oh, so good.
Gross.
That's so good. Since we're doing plot synopses, the ice pirates. In the far future, water is the most valuable substance. 2 space pirates are captured, sold to a princess, and recruited to help her find her father, who disappeared when he found information dangerous to the rulers. A real space opera with sword fights, explosions, fighting robots, monsters, bar fights, and time warps.
And ever-growing after.
So, wait, is that the entire plot synopsis? Or is that...
Well, you know, there's not a lot there that happens.
That's
But
fantastic.
it is funny. I mean, it's got some big names in it. It's got like Robert Urich in it. I don't know that, Angelica Houston, Ron Perlman. I mean, there's people in this movie that I think were thinking, hey, here comes our career. We're doing Star Wars. But there's aspects of Road Warrior to this and Star Wars. It's something. Some of the jokes and things legitimately were having me roar. It was a lot of fun.
That's funny.
I mean, you got to go in with kind of your Spaceballs mentality.
I mean,
going.
it's a movie from the 80s. I kind of feel like any movie from the 80s you go into
but it knows it's ridiculous. It's not trying to be
that makes it better.
super. Yeah, they know that they're kind of a joke, and so it's kind of.
It's not just a whole 80s thing. I mean, Back to the Future was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, aside from Future Biff, I don't know, or Future Biff's son, or whatever. I don't.
Yeah.
The way he speaks, McFly. Like I can't deal with that.
I will say,
overall,
Back to the Future, I have to rewatch because I remember. I don't know. I have to rewatch all of those now that I'm older and just see.
Oh, really? Man, I feel like
I've not seen
I've
them for a
watched,
while.
I've watched the Back to the Future trilogy like once a year for like 15 years.
Right.
Nice, Bob. You have a tome you're holding.
Yeah,
you want to talk about that?
Yeah,
too,
really
but-
quick. I want to throw out, since we're kind of a book podcast. I highly,
Kind of at least.
Only kind of.
Only kind of.
Jeez.
I highly recommend, if you are at all a Motu fan, Masters of the Universe.
Oh, more of this.
Those of us in the know call it Motu.
You can do whatever you want.
But if you're an old school Masters of the Universe fan,
Rule 34 of the internet.
on Amazon, Dark Horse has cranked out like 5 books, collecting a bunch of odds and ends from early He-Man. And so like He-Man used to get packed, like the vehicles and figures would get packed with like mini comics. They collected all of the mini comics that exist into this mini comics collection. It is huge. It is like 1,200 pages. It is this chubby little awesome book. And I did the whole like used but like new condition.
Yeah.
I mean, I got this thing for $10.
You got that for $10?
$10. I see it right now sitting like for $14. It is totally worth the price.
Does it have the built-in ribbon bookmark?
It has a built-in ribbon bookmark. It's like you're reading a fancy Bible. It's like an old picture Bible.
It's like the Bible, but better.
But it's
got lasers
instead of Satan. It's got Skeletor. It's
Lasers and hookers.
I mean, you know what.
Skeletor, oh my.
I mean, I will preface it by saying you know what you're getting. Hopefully, if you're a He-Man fan, with the comics that were coming out with the toys.
What?
They're nothing fantastic, but what I like is in between there's kind of like little interviews with the artists and stuff. So there's a lot of behind the scenes information that will sometimes come out, and it's just a fun little read. But besides just that, they've also got like the
Holy crap.
the newspaper
Like an
comics.
atlas.
It is huge. It is gorgeous. It's all the newspaper comics that came out.
Oh,
Wait,
I love the
He-Man
fact that
was newspaper?
I love the fact that it's newspaper comics, and then you get the Sunday newspaper comics in color.
With
Yeah.
the color.
Yeah.
I mean, they have done a fantastic job, and I would say all of these right now, if you go with the used stuff that's on, which I have never been burnt on Amazon yet with the buying the very good to like new condition. The only thing you might have to worry about is what's called a remainder mark, which I don't know that anybody cares about. It's when it's overstock, they put just a tiny little like dot with a marker on the bottom.
The only thing
Like,
I think I picked up the monster manual for D&D 3.5, and the binding was all goofed.
Oh,
That's the
yeah,
only
yeah.
thing.
But
That has happened
almost
again.
all of these books are under $20. They do an art of book, episode by episode guide. So if you're a Motu fan, I mean, Dark Horse knocked it out of the park with these books. They're gorgeous, and so
Actually,
I highly
have a little
recommend.
fun fact about the He-Man cartoon series.
Uh-huh.
I've been watching. A big old. I was watching these interviews with voice actors from like I would quote unquote your childhood.
Yeah, right.
Like Frank Weller and those guys.
Yeah, and the guy who did
Like He-Man?
Skeletor.
Oh, Skeletor. Okay, yeah.
And his whole thing, like, wow, when he talks like this.
Yeah.
He went into, like, where he's like, well, he's a skull, so he's hollow, so he'd have, like, a weird reverberation to him. And that was, like, his
cool.
logic behind why Skeletor sounds like this.
Oh, wow, I've never heard
It's
that. That's
supposed to be,
awesome.
like, the echoing in his head. I'm like, oh, okay, that's really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, oh, gosh, I wish I could. I would give the YouTube channel a shout-out if I remembered it, but it was just something that popped up on a recommended video for me.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it was super cool. Just a little tidbit.
That's awesome. But Luke, you said you have some feedback.
I do have feedback. Well, Bob, I'll show you my feedback if you'll show me yours.
Oh, we have some feedback.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Do you two want Paul and I to leave?
Dude, I'm not
Hold on,
leaving. I'm
I'm-
sitting in the corner
Hold
watching.
on, I'm whipping out Twitter.
Oh my gosh.
So I
What's
mean,
the past tense of Twitter?
tweeted, Twittered.
Don't say it.
No, I'm trying to.
Easing down the pants of
Oh my goodness! So I've really been pretty much all I've been doing is Bob, any of your art that you've been posting on Facebook. I save it and I tweet it out on Twitter.
Cool.
With my own little commentary on it.
Any of Bob's art that is not Photoshop but is actually done in Pages.
what did you call it? Photo pages or whatever.
Photo pages.
Coyote got back to us.
Oh, Coyote.
Oh yeah.
About our reading calendar. What an awesome lineup. Happy to see that we're planning to revisit Dragonlance. And is excited for Dune.
Oh, awesome.
Keep up the good work. Hey,
right.
thanks, Coyote.
Hey, we're part of the Coyote Scruff Pack around here.
Coyote Pack or
Coyote
something?
Pack, yeah. My
We got John of such fame as the Dragonlance Canticle.
Woo!
And the Nexus. And hold on, I don't know how to click on my phone.
Yeah, it'll be a year before we can stump for them again. So Dragonlance Nexus, go check them out.
Replying to our reading calendar. That's so exciting for him.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
In 1 second. Also, we got this whole thing. I don't think it originated on a tweet that I had tweeted. I just pointed at Claude because I pulled that off without swearing. At any rate, we had us and a podcast I talked about previously, the Occulte Veritatis podcast. We share some listeners,
Awesome.
which I think is, I mean, it makes
awesome.
sense. I mean, you know, at least one of their hosts, Sage Murray, listens to us, and
Hi, Sage.
and at least have you guys checked it out yet, or have you?
Yes,
you
yes.
have? Okay. Good.
Oh, yeah. No,
Good.
for
You guys,
sure.
You guys have reached out. You've checked. Like, I mean, the hosts listen to each other. We share a bunch of fans.
Oh, yeah.
And we got into this little whole gift thing about how awesome it is that we share fans with each other. But we also Val from the Occulte Veritatis.
Hail, Val.
Hail Val!
We just want to shout that out because we saw that she was liking some of our stuff, and we
Yeah.
hope she listens.
Yeah.
But that's
Hi, Val.
really club. Not now. Yeah, that's
It's always time to say
Down,
hi,
down,
man.
boy. Down.
Anyway, that is what is going on in our Twitter universe. Hey, also, if you are more of a Twitter person than a Facebook person, feel free to follow us, tweet at us, slide into our DMs, son. Whatever you want to do, I'm there, and I'm always ready to talk.
Right on. Well, hey, on Facebook, we changed up our calendar. So go check out, look at the reading calendar. We've got everything everything posted through December of 2019. I think we got some exciting stuff up there. Big shout out to Brendan again, saving us once again. I didn't really research what order we should be reading Second Generation through Summer Flame and everything. So I changed that up a little bit to reflect that. But he also says, hey, you had plans to do The Martian and they've been shelved. Bummer.
You know what? I actually, I saw he said that and I'm like, oh yeah, we did.
I totally
did.
For that.
That is a movie and book I really enjoy.
Yeah,
So
I know
it's one of those where you kind of...
People are a little upset about Sword of Truth and The Martian,
Yeah.
and I won't lie, we sat down, Luke and I sat down, kind of hashed it out, completely forgot about The Martian, completely forgot about that one, and we even had at one time talked about Ernest Cline, doing Ernest Cline, and we somehow forgot about all
Yeah,
those.
The Martian was supposed to go on last spring, and we had big plans for last spring.
Yeah, that's when it
as
got
far
all
as
chaotic,
bonus episodes and these little movie things.
And we found it very hard to get together to be able to do
Apparently,
those.
we are all very busy in the spring.
Hey,
Turns out we're adults.
We have real lives.
we
and
have adult
families
lives.
and
But,
kids, and it's weird.
We crank these out like crazy in the fall, when we are very busy also. But I think in the spring, it's we're just...
We've been cooped up inside for so long.
yeah,
we're
we're
finally...
tired.
Well, and you
free.
got to remember too that unlike a lot of podcasts that can watch a movie and then very quickly talk about it, that's an hour and a half. We've weirdly set ourselves up to read books and try to coordinate that out, which is sometimes tough.
this is all going way better than we ever thought it would. So again, thank you.
But I just wanted to make some shout outs there for our calendar that, some of you guys who are Dragonlance fans, this might be your only time before you're like, okay, they're done with Dragonlance. So I'm trying to hook you. Star Wars, we got the Zahn novels coming up. So hope you stay with us for that because you guys have been so awesome. Xanth, I think a lot of listeners, might like Piers Anthony.
I was such a fan. I'm so excited to get back to Xanth. I was such a fan. I read every Xanth thing that was in existence in the 90s.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So we're going to do just the first one, A Spell for Chameleons, see how it goes over, and then we'll do more. So, again, if you're a fan of that, come on over and listen, because we kind of gauge by how many downloads we get. Hey, is Xanth going to be popular or not? We'll continue with more books in the future if, that hits big. Then we're on to Pierce Brown in February and March with Iron Gold and Dark Ages. We're going to do Dune by Frank Herbert.
Frank Herbert's Dune.
Yeah. We're going to do probably what I would characterize as our very first actual hardcore sci-fi novel, Rendezvous with Rama. I think maybe there could be arguments made that Ender's Game is hardcore, but I would say for sure Rendezvous is a hardcore. Then back to Dragonlance with Soul Forge, Second Generation, Summer Flame, and we're going to end off with Star Wars again.
With what might be our final Summer of Lance. We really don't know how far down the Dragonlance rabbit hole we want to go.
Right.
But just keep that... And, Dragonlance fans, if you're not sticking around, I at least... ask you nicely, kindly, will you at least come back for Tavern Talk and talk to us?
We want to hear from you guys.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah, just check in, see how we're doing. Let us know, and let us know how you're doing over on Twitter and Facebook.
Just a few more things to clean up here on Facebook. I had posted a picture of the Draconian Salt Shaker, which we will get to at the end of this book. I was fishing hard for some comments. Somebody give me some feedback on what they thought of this. Got nothing. I got all kinds of likes. Everybody's thumbing up, giving hearts, and
sharing it out.
Nobody's commenting except for we got John who says, "Wait, what?" There's a live action reenactment of the novels. Why have I not heard of this?
Paul and I were actually confused on this. We thought he was talking about our intros for our show.
Yeah, he wouldn't be the first person to say that. We had a couple other comments about our.
We've had people ask us, "Can we do the whole novel as like a reenactment?" They take way too much time for that. Sorry, but yeah. And then I had to tell him, "No, it's just a picture." And he's like, "Oh, bummer. Thought there was a movie of sorts for the novel." LOL. So,
well, hey, if you are patient, I do hear
there may be stuff in the works.
Something coming down the pipes here.
Yeah. No,
they've been saying about
you can't just say that because then it makes people think that we have some sort of inside track knowledge. We know
we know absolutely nothing. They've been saying that about the Wheel of Time.
They'll be like,
books
I was listening to this Dragonlance.
Oh no!
I was listening to a Dragonlance podcast, and they completely confirmed. that there's a movie coming out. We have no idea, but there could be.
I mean,
they're hinting at it.
There probably mostly likely definitely is.
Oh,
have you been talking to people?
what do you know that we don't know?
I can't talk to you guys about it.
What do you got? Like an umbilical cord directly to Margaret Weiss?
She's one state over. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
actually,
She's eating a pastrami sandwich
on
right
Sunday.
now. It tastes really good.
On Sunday, I'm leaving for the Wisconsin Dells. So
you having a little meetup? Gonna talk contract work? See what you
Meet
can do?
and greet with old Marge.
no, I wish. It's a conference about student information systems.
And a different.
Do you guys like databases?
Because here's what we do.
But Scott did say, not as funny as Fizbin losing his hat, but still pretty solid. And a different John on Facebook said, "This right here is the only scene you need. It's like
you're a prostitute."
it's like Metallica wrote a fantasy novel." When did I? What? What are you talking about?
When you said a different John. I mean, hey, what you do on your what you do on the weekend? man,
Our
it's up to you.
Facebook page is just full of Johns.
Hey, John.
Hey, John. But he posted the very famous, I think is it Keith Parkinson's painting of Lord Soth riding on a horse, and he said, "This is the only scene you need." Which, John, I agree. Truth. Yeah. Lord Soth is all you need. More Soth. Yeah. So, but is any other feedback there, Luke?
That's really all that's been going on Twitter. And you know what? I haven't had enough time to have watched anything else on Netflix, so I'm out of things to talk about.
Well, I tell you what, let's like a good TV series that runs out of money somewhere during the season.
I don't have a shark.
No, we don't need a shark. And not like Star Trek where when they ran out of money they would just time travel to present day.
Yeah.
I'm talking about when the series runs out of money and all of a sudden you have the complete show that is just clips from previous shows. You have the montage show. Let's jump into the second half of this book because that's really what it feels like for me.
All right, sounds good to me.
Hey, honey, get us some more of this white robe alcoholic water.
We got press.
Ooh, tell me more.
It's a DeLorean, isn't it?
Scales were always in my favor.
I might have driven a DeLorean here.
Aye, pull up a chair, friend.
All right, let's wrap up the Summer of Lance 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
There it is. With our Part 2 review of Volume 3, including the second half of Book 2 and all of Book 3.
Let's see how the Majera boys are going to wrap this one up.
Yes, so I believe we left off.
Chapter 8.
Chapter 8-ish.
Yeah, Chapter 8-ish. Hey, we are back in kind of the dream world of Raceland.
The acid trip that is the Abyss.
And it is
the part that is good.
Yeah, it is. It
that's
is
my
really
thing.
good.
Yeah.
So I love this part. We start with how Raceland is using Chrysania, and we end up with this vision of Sturm in there with Tika and everybody else in the Hall of Justice, and I like even that Audic is there eating his spicy potatoes.
This out like. Raceland isn't being himself. He's somebody else. Like, he's all excited to see everybody.
Yeah.
Like, who the heck are you?
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, like, oh, how have you been? Oh.
But I don't know, is it
Raceland?
because we've seen he's had visions of his childhood? Is he in some ways, like, are we supposed to see, because we know that at the end of this book he's going to redeem himself, in some ways. Are we supposed to be thinking that Raceland is keying into, again, some of his childhood innocence?
That's what I thought too, was that he's kind of regressing a little bit.
Right.
He's no longer as callous and hateful. He is more...
Or maybe
like
that's
a kid.
at least what they're trying to convey. I don't
know.
It felt super out of nowhere for me.
It is
This whole scene where we're in the courtroom and they're running the trial and you were there. And you were there. And you were there.
I was in the land of Oz, and you were there.
Right.
And you're right, Luke. It did feel a little out of place with his attitude towards some things. But, again, it's a little bit of fan service here.
I think a huge amount.
I did laugh out loud when Oh, and Odic is here eating his spicy potatoes in the courtroom.
Hey, all that did was make me want to have some spicy potatoes.
Right on.
God,
Yes.
I do.
I
I am craving those.
I laughed that Flint was bailiff. That's when I
Well,
laughed.
of course, because Tanis is judge.
Exactly. But okay, so but Tanis is wearing these robes of neutrality as a judge, and I'm still confused as to why are we all of a sudden keying in on Tanis as the neutral party?
I don't
like
know.
in the annotations in the last podcast.
Something heavy that's going on here is I feel like the authors have a much different vision for Tanis than we're picking up.
That we're picking up
and
on.
where
yeah.
he went. Tanis is a good character with like a little flaw where he almost was tempted by the dark side.
Maybe.
But not that big of one.
Yeah, no, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just not.
Yeah, and they kept bringing that up throughout, Tanis's thing too, where, well, he's got a little bit of darkness in him. Where?
Yeah, where's this?
Yeah.
It's
where's
never. It's not. Unless depression is darkness.
He's
mean,
an elf.
it is.
He's an elf with a beard. He's a bad boy. He might as well be wearing a leather jacket.
he rides the line. He's a little bit from the good side of the tracks and the bad side.
Smoking
of the tracks.
cloves.
Oh, Tanis would be smoking American spirits.
Ugh. God, you hipster.
Oh
I
man.
don't know, because I kind of feel that Tanis would roll his own too.
He would be. Yeah, he definitely would.
He'd be that guy sitting in the park where he takes out his little box of tobacco and he takes out his rolling papers and makes the big show of looking around at everybody while he's rolling his own cigarettes.
Look at me.
And it's not just a box of tobacco, it's like a wooden box that's made by an elf in Sylvester who only makes like 3 a year and he's super hard to find and he wants to tell you the story about it.
Yes. Somebody please ask me why I do this.
The paper is specifically imported in from this tiny little island off it. You have to have this.
It's actually made from pygmy trees.
He'd be carrying a yoga rug in one of those round tubes, and he'd show up to concerts in the park and unroll it kind of off to the side by a bush.
Stop. Stop.
You know who you are.
What were we talking about again? I don't even remember.
We're in the Hall of Justice. Sturm's here, and actually, it makes me feel kind of good.
Yeah, I do like that. The one trouble that I was having with the scene, and this is only for me, is when it says it's this courtroom drama, and I kept in my mind flipping between. I'm trying to hold. You know how like the scene in your mind when you're reading sometimes. Do you ever get it where you can't hold that scene steady, and like I should be seeing this as like a courtroom drama in a castle or medieval style. I was in Judge Wapner's People's Court the entire time, and I couldn't get out of it.
Law and Order for me. Law and Order.
Yes, I was just going to say.
That was what it was. Law and Order.
It's Law and Order Special Magic Unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm seeing Odic sitting there, and that
SMU,
and I'd see like Flint sitting on like one of those big wooden chairs as bailiff, but his feet were like just sticking straight out. and then like flip to Odic, and he'd just be stuffing his face with spicy potatoes all the time, like a weird dream sequence.
And Taz is like standing on a chair on phone books.
yes.
He's Professor Flitwick.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Your Honor. My client doesn't know what he's talking about.
Right.
But if I could actually tell you the story of actually what happened, I could really go on about it for quite a while.
Right. But the end result here is that Chrysania is being put on trial for being a witch, and they put her to the stake.
Burn her. She's a witch.
I do feel that they're
turned
trying
me into a newt.
I feel they're trying to.
I know better.
I feel they're trying to channel that humor here.
Yes,
I do think that they are. Yeah, which is why when it flips all of a sudden to drama here with Raceland, like that is a moment that then Raceland has been without his magic, and this spurs the magic to come back to Raceland, like flooding back.
And I didn't like this.
Yeah,
I didn't like this. All I had to do was believe in my dark self to get my magic back.
Yeah.
My magic was only there because I didn't believe.
You've always had the power, Raceland. Just click your high-heeled shoes together.
I don't know if you can take this logic and like apply it to something else, like Darth Vader. Like, I just had to believe that I hated this much. Like, dude, no.
yeah, right. No, I don't know. Is it like, his hatred busts through the walls of
But yeah, I mean,
I don't know. This is a Matrix scene for me. Like all of a sudden, Raceland is Neo.
Yes. Yes, and the lightning comes down, and I have the power.
Yeah, it was all in his mind, and now he is now Neo. But Raceland fulfills his promise to Caramon. Chrysania lies burnt and dying, and he leaves her.
Yeah,
walks
this,
over
This
her
honestly
body.
would have meant a lot more to me if we didn't already know it was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I saw this as the fulfillment of a sick thing that was already mentioned. I didn't mind this.
Yeah, kind of a. Is he really gonna do this? Is
Right.
he really
This
gonna
is from
walk
the
away
whole thing
from her?
when, like, in book 1 when they were there and like he says like, oh yeah, Chrysania died on the plains of the abyss.
Yeah, and I will walk over her dead or burning body.
no.
That's at the beginning of this book.
Yeah. Well, I mean that had been said like, was that in volume 2?
And see, that's this. No, and
But
see, I know what you're talking
they've
about.
been to the future.
Yeah, they've been to the
We
future.
know this
We've been bouncing back and forth here, and again, it goes with that abyss timeline thing where there's no real timeline in the abyss, so you're everywhere and nowhere in time at the same time.
Okay.
Right.
If that would have been explained better in the book, I feel like I would have liked it more. But like it was just the whole like, okay, we've already been 2 years in the future. We know that she dies on the plains of the abyss, and now she's dying on the plains of the abyss. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Right. Yeah. Right.
That's my whole thing. Like I would have meant so much more to me if I didn't know it was gonna happen.
Right.
But I feel like they couldn't have said that to build up Raceland's hatred and how we feel towards Raceland. If they didn't have him tell Caramon, or who was it, that it was that I will step over her cold. I can't do your voice. You do a good voice of it, but I will step over your cold dead, her cold dead body, and then continue. Because this was one of those where, I agree with you guys. Where you need it, you need that little bit of validation that he truly is evil.
It just would have meant so much more if I didn't know that it was coming.
Right. Okay. Well, and this is where I feel there's a lot of tonal shifting that goes on throughout this entire end of the book, where Raceland is driven home in some ways to be an incredibly evil character. And this is one of the times, I mean, like, we know, like, we keep bringing up Darth Vader, but that, Darth Vader was evil and destroyed planets. That's incredibly evil. But the way it's played in the movie is kind of comic booky in a way where you kind of forget about it, right? It's hammy and comic booky. Whereas here, we see some awful things. I mean, Chrysania has been burnt at the stake, and she is lying burnt and dying, and she has always loved Raceland and only wants what's best for him, and he steps over her body, and still she knows it, and she's laying there praying to Paladine for her forgiveness and for her to be able to forgive Raceland.
Yeah, she's asking for forgiveness.
She does realize that she screwed up.
She screwed up,
yeah,
but she doesn't blame Raceland.
No, she blames herself.
She blames herself.
Her dying phrase is, "I love you, Raceland."
Yeah,
that was really heavy.
What I don't like is Raceland. I feel through a lot of this really kind of gets the get out of jail free card all the time. Where you've got his brother Caramon, who is constantly, making excuses for him, and maybe that's what they want, but I don't know. To me, he's become it's totally weird where he's an evil character, but then we're supposed to root for his redemption at the end of this. And I don't know where I sit in all this. I like it. I like the complexity of that, but I don't know where I sit with his redemption.
And again, going with that everything and nothing thing that I was talking about earlier with time, I think that maybe that's part of what Weiss and Hickman are trying to get across in the Abyss too. Is this is Raceland as everything that he is and nothing that he is, and the aspect where he still has the bit of good in him, or he still has the bit of the old Raceland who's happy to see his friend.
There's good in him. I felt it.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's the emperor.
Yeah. It's kind of like saying, at one point in his life, Adolf Hitler was cutely on a floor playing with a ball.
Oh God, leave Hitler out.
Why would you leave me out of this?
It is perfect.
No, we're not going back to that. We're not going back.
I will leave.
You keep threatening that, but
this,
you're always
okay, so this does close out with
because I don't have any other friends.
No. Jeez. It closes out at least with this nice thread that has gone through the Chronicles into this trilogy. I need you no longer.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a Michael Williams song.
Oh. Is there one?
Yeah,
yes,
the song
there is.
The song of Chrysania.
Oh boy.
Yeah, let's.
Are we singing this one too?
There was a song, yes, but let's get into chapter 9.
Let's not do this. Yeah. Please. So chapter Tanis and Dalamar have a little talk.
the Tanis Dalamar. little secret meetings.
This is quick.
Were the first one was okay. The first one I dug, but again, I feel like it's retreaded here.
Right.
It's like, okay, Dalamar appears from the shadows and he and Tanis talk.
Right. And Tanis is like, hey, so do you got the balls to kill Raceland when he comes through the portal? Like, yeah, okay.
Like over and over
Well,
again.
yes,
like, hey,
I would be paid.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's like that. You know, you got that friend in high school who's a little sketchy, but he says he's gonna buy you booze, and you keep like hounding on him, like, hey, you're coming through for tonight, right? Right. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I got this. I got this.
And you,
Fine,
you,
fine.
you go to fourth hour or whatever, and like, and the fifth hour comes around, like, hey. You got the booze for tonight, right?
Dude, I'm working on it. I got this.
I got this.
You're back behind the dumpster. Are you gonna do this?
Yeah. My Uncle Jimmer's taking care of it all. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Jimmer. Jeez.
But Dalamar says he does, and we're on to chapter 10. We're back into the abyss. A lot of this is moving pretty fast.
It is very fast.
And Takesis is talking to Raceland, and she offers him eternal rest.
I really it's what is this, like a page?
Yeah, it is a page.
But it's super cool.
We're at Pierce Brown quickness here, but not a dangling chapter.
This is super cool, and it's because it's super dark.
And
again,
they do the abyss well.
Weiss and Hickman do, and especially Dark Abyss, where it's go cuddle with your burnt girlfriend, and I won't make you suffer for eternity.
Right. There is
it's just that cruelness, and it's good to hear.
Again, I'm going to just keep pushing that there is filler in here. The reason that some of this seems tonally off to me is that there's filler pushed in here to try to pad out this book, because when we go into the abyss and the stuff between Caramon and his brother and everything else, Chrysania, is tight, and it is so good. And then the stuff that some of this,
as long as we're bringing up filler, I feel like, you know, their issue with the Chronicles was that they were beholden to somebody else's like directions.
Right.
But then in Legends, they must be on like some sort of like time constraint.
I think they're beholden to the idea of trilogy. They are really, they really believe it's got to be a trilogy.
Look at what I said last episode in 23 about like how quickly these books came out.
Right. Yeah.
All in the same year, all within months of each other. Yeah. And it's not even that long after the Chronicles had wrapped up. Like, this is like, I don't know what is going on, but I would love to know.
And like I said in Tavern Talk, I start to get this feel that it's that series finale of the show,
right,
of the TV show, where it's all just, where there is a plot going on underneath, but a good portion of it is, well, the gang's sitting around talking about what happened in the last seven.
You know what it is? It's the last episode of Seinfeld, where you're just going like, hey,
you're gonna have to fill us in on that.
I was going Friends, but
okay. The last episode of Seinfeld, where it's basically them on trial, and it's a clip show of everything they've ever done.
Exactly.
It was a huge disappointment to people who like Seinfeld. Those are the worst
episodes of any show.
Yeah.
You remember that one time?
Yeah. It's tenuously kind of connected together here, but a lot of it is just, we're retreading. And again, not to get heavy on it.
Taking out the retreads were 115 pages.
Yeah.
And that's not enough for the third.
Yeah, I can almost see Hickman sitting in the boardroom with 3 big long pieces of butcher paper stuck to the wall, and he's mapping it all out, going, we have enough material for 3 books. This first one's going to be all about the destruction, and then this one's going to be about their testing, or the war, and then this last one, we got it, Marge, we got it. And then they just went into it, and then they got to this last one.
I have this little stuff left in the parking lot that we need to move into the rest of the book.
Don't ever.
Cut to 2 months later, Margaret, like, just sweat on her brow, furiously writing away. I don't know, Tracy, I don't think we can do it. No,
We're fine. I got more. Here, this.
As he flips the butcher paper over. No, look. We're going to include all this stuff with Tanis. Tanis, I didn't even think I was going to include him in this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure she said, why not Lorana? No, not Lorana.
It must be Tanis. He's dark and brooding. I never wrote that.
He's just holding up the old covers of all the books. Look here, Marge. Do you see Lorana on this? There's no Lorana on this cover, but there's Tanis. There's no Lorana on this cover, but there's Tanis. Tanis is our man.
But Tracy, she was the golden general who led the army.
That doesn't matter. Tanis. It's all about Tanis, man.
But why wouldn't Lorana come with Tanis? She's planting trees.
Because Tanis is doing things, man. He's doing his own thing. He's getting away from Lorana, man.
Because he's gonna be away from his wife.
Yeah.
He's going to be away from his wife. He's going to see Kitty Ara again. There's going to be sexual tension.
Yeah, that's what they
And
want.
then they forgot.
yes.
And then, I believe
We're getting there, yeah.
I believe that they started with that idea, and then forgot about it.
I agree.
So, if we can rein it in for a second, Chapter 10 I thought was super cool. And
Super cool.
I really like this whole like proper like pre-battle meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is what I'm going to do, my queen. Well, this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
Well, my queen.
Right.
'Tis your move.
Right. And I do feel
That was a
God.
if we would have had somebody who could have done Takesis on the show, I think that would have been another good option for our stinger.
Just you wait.
we might have that.
Is that what we did for the stinger?
Well, no, I just,
I showed up late. I missed doing the intro today.
okay. Well,
we got it.
it's a little something exciting for you to hear.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be okay. But yeah, I do really like this part.
Super cool.
Yeah. All the darkness is awesome. But on to chapter 11. Darkness. Tanis awakens to a dark day because Elliston dies during the night. So he armors up and he's met outside by Fireflash.
God, what is with this whole Elliston? Like,
there's a lot of weight played to the death of Elliston, and Elliston,
I've known since Volume 1 of this trilogy that he was gonna die, though. Like,
he's been on death's door this whole time.
Yeah.
Like when they found him, he was about ready.
Well, you got to remember, with the time travel and everything, it really hasn't been that long.
No, it hasn't.
Since we left the original timeline.
That's true.
The original timeline.
And
in here, it's not. I know it feels to the rest of us like it's Pope John Paul II.
Yes, it does.
Oh my God, is he gonna? Okay, roll him back. He's fine.
It's true. But I feel, again, this is a plot that I think is a thread that is bigger, maybe to people who played Dragonlance modules, to Weiss and Hickman themselves. This whole idea of restarting the church and the importance of Elliston and all this, I thought was very underplayed in all of the books. Not that I'm asking for more of it. I don't really care about Elliston, but that then means that his death doesn't hold any weight for me. When this all happens, Tanis is really burdened by this. I'm not sharing that burden of Tanis because we haven't established enough of the weight of it.
I will say it was cool for Paladine to come down and pick him up.
Yeah, that is cool. I really like that.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I like that, and I like the fact that Paladine as the god here,
Yes.
and Fizbin as who he becomes on Earth.
Right.
I like the juxtaposition with that. I like the fact that he didn't come down and go, "I am Paladine and I am bringing the Pope home."
Yeah,
He
right.
just came
It's just
down
quiet.
and all the rest of the acolytes and the cleric or what's left of clerics here at this point are going, some old guy came with him, held him in his arms while he died, and then he disappeared.
Right.
His old friend came to stop by.
But I love that Fireflash is back.
I do like that.
Wait, there's dragons in Dragonlance?
Hey, I'm gonna keep saying there's not nearly enough dragons
No.
or lances in Dragonlance.
Dragons? You need dragons and you need Lord Saw.
Yeah.
That would make a lot of things
Yes,
better.
yes.
Tanis and Fireflash are talking to each other, and Fireflash talks about like, oh, Flint Fireforge and the Kender, I knew them, and then Tanis starts bawling.
I think
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna play down like being sad because your friend.
But he
died,
does
but-
do the deadpan like right before he gets off verklempt.
Right.
He does do Flint's dead.
Right.
He
But
does deadpan it to him where it's just like matter of factly,
Yeah.
Flint's dead.
Right. But again, I know there's people who really like Tanis, and I don't know what you're connecting to the character with this. But this, to me, what happens next, what you just said, Luke, is the thing for me that just underlines and highlights why I hate Tanis as a character. You have potentially the end of Kryn once again happening. He cries about the death, which is fine, like you say. But then, as he climbs on the back of Fireflash to fly off to the high
passes
cliff,
out.
he falls
faints.
asleep. Yeah, he faints on the back of the dragon and just piss whines the whole way to the High Claris Tower. I'm like, you are not a hero, Tanis. Like,
No.
Like the end of the world is about to come. Everybody else in this novel is engaged in incredible struggle, and nobody is breaking down crying. All Tanis is doing is sitting around a palace planning crap, and he's crying all the time.
No, this is the moment where you climb on the back of the dragon.
Yes.
Thunderstruck starts playing in
Yeah,
the background,
yes.
and you're gonna fly off and
Yeah.
you're gonna avenge everybody.
This scene should be metal, and instead it is just emo. Like Tanis is just
not even in a good,
not
way.
a good, cool emo way.
He just kind of falls asleep. It's like, oh, I'm tired.
I'm really glad.
Yeah, I want to curl up on the back of Fireflash. I bet you Fireflash is like, I wish Flint and Taz were on my back again. This crying half elf.
I'm glad you're bringing all this up.
It's you get on the back of the dragon, and it needs to be AC/DC.
You're right. It needs to be
Metallica.
yes.
Not Michael Bolton.
I'm glad to bring all this up.
I'm getting the scene from Saturday Night Live. Is it Saturday Night Live where Michael Bolton's playing? He's playing that saxophone and his head explodes.
That's Kenny G.
Or that's Kenny G. That's Kenny G. That's what
Actually, you're right. This is even worse than Michael Bolton.
This is Kenny G. This is Kenny G. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are bringing this up though, because this chapter was like severely condensed in the audiobook.
You're lucky.
I did the same thing I did last episode with this one, where I listened to the audiobook and just had my book here, and I'm just going back and forth making notes between the two.
And I went through this chapter going, all right, Tanis. Oh, hey, dragon, cool.
But Tanis,
all right, Tanis, flip.
Yeah.
Tanis, flip.
More
Tanis,
stuff from the Chronicles.
But again, to show why he is in no emotional state to conduct any kind of military engagement, he's crying, then he's passing out on the back of the dragon, and then all of a sudden he's just storming into Lord Gunther, and is so mad he wants to rip off his mustaches. I mean, he's just. Where is Lorana? Like, the Golden General needs to be here instead of Tanis. But what I do have to say that's super positive is, while I'm in a rage with Tanis and his emotions, all of a sudden the flying citadel comes out of the sky, and all of this is awesome.
Well, and I want to bring up this one point here too.
Yeah.
Right as the flying citadel is coming.
Yeah.
Is coming in. Tanis pulls rank on Gunther.
Right.
And Gunther looks at him and goes, yeah, we gave you that. It's like you got the honorary PhD from Harvard, and now you just walked into the professor's class and told him you're going to teach it.
Yeah, right, yeah. That wasn't real.
It's like, that was honorary. Well, your order doesn't make distinctions between honorary and not. And you just see, you hear from the pages of the book. I like Gunther. I like Gunther.
I do too.
Because you hear from the pages of the book just Gunther going, fine.
He's that guy.
I guess technically you're right.
He's that guy that'll be like, all right, say whatever you want. We'll do it in a week or two whenever, you're already dead.
Yes. So the Citadel comes in, and this is a great scene as they're all
now AC/DC is finally playing.
We're prepping for battle. We've set everything up. The soldiers are prepping for battle. Yeah. Everybody's
Hell's Bells
waiting.
is playing.
The Citadel is getting closer. The Citadel is getting closer. The Citadel is getting closer. And then all of a sudden, Tanis realizes they're not gonna stop and fight.
Yeah, they fly right past.
Yep. Which, you have a citadel. You have a flying citadel. Why would you stop?
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I like this idea. I love that this flying citadel just slowly passes over. There's nothing they can do about it.
It skims the top of the tower.
Don't buzz the tower.
It is really awesome. The Citadels for me are like just a centerpiece of this universe. When I think of Dragonlance, the floating Citadels are one of the things that instantly comes to mind.
And you get great pictures of the guys who are standing on the wall and like little clods of dirt and rock from where they pulled the Citadel up are falling on them as they're just watching it go over.
I see this as a scene in the movie just being done in complete silence.
Yes,
where it just silently goes.
The build up to it showing up, and then just silence as it glides over.
And then just silence, and the one like as it scrapes the point of the tower.
No, this is an awesome scene. I wish everything before hadn't gotten me so irritated with Tanis. Again, if this would have been the Golden General making very astute plans, and then all of her plans would have gone for naught because a Citadel flew over, this would have been epic.
Well, and we get into this whole like real explanation of Palanthos too.
Right.
The city itself. the army. The army is on the wall.
Right.
You just flew over the army. Well, no, but there's everybody who's in Palandos. That's the drunken National Guard.
Yeah. Right.
They ain't helping no one.
Yep.
It's like, oh no, we came for our weekend we came for our 2 weeks or our weekend maneuvers for the year, which means we're gonna go hang out on the base and drink.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more. Chapter 12.
But wait, there's more.
Tanis definitely is going to warn the city, so he jumps back onto Fire Flash.
I would bring it back to the end of chapter 11. Tanis says something cool.
Wait, what?
We forgot about the one thing, the element that makes this battle even. Lord Soth. So Palanthas is feeling real cocky and real confident.
Yeah.
Yeah, you forget there's like a death knight.
Well, yeah,
coming with his horde.
And this is the movie scene again where you turn, where it's been dead silent. This goes over. We forgot about Lord Soth as they're like on the wall and they turn. Immigrant Song starts playing by Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
Soth and his army come blasting out of the woods.
Yep. I mean, this is so metal, and then the Calliope music plays as Tanis jumps onto Fireflash, flies past the Citadel, and we're told again he could almost cry with frustration. I can't do this, guys.
Maybe that was
making all these plans, and I'm trying to do the right thing, and I haven't seen my wife, and my ex-girlfriend's gonna kill everybody, and I just don't know what to do.
Lord Soth is here. I can really use the Snickers. My blood sugar's really low.
You know what? That would be a great commercial. It should be Tanis crying on the back of a dragon, and then he eats a Snickers bar and turns into Lorana.
Lorana, eat the Snickers. You always turn into Tanis.
Whenever you're hungry, you turn into Tanis. Anyway.
So he gets on the back, and again, you feel coming off the page, Fire Flash is rolling his eyes at Tanis.
Oh, yeah. But what I love is then finally Tanis and Dalamore have to team up, which I like, because Soth wants to kill Kitiara and make her his undead bride.
But yeah, oh boy, here we go in this chapter. Tanis is planning stuff again.
Why? Yeah. Tanis wants to save her from an eternity of torment. So
What? They're in the abyss. I'll go get them.
So, showing our hero's desperation against steep odds, I don't want to be all negative. They do a good job of setting kind of that insurmountable doom that's coming upon the city and our heroes, which is always fun.
This chapter, and with them explaining what Soth wants with Kitiara, was kind of the moment where I realized why they have Tanis and not Lorana. Because Tanis is supposed to go and save Kitiara.
Right.
And give her one last redemption moment.
Yeah, that's why it's Tanis, and that's why it's not Lorana. Because of this.
Lorana would just go, oh, all right.
And I will say, this is something that I griped about.
We got to save Kitiara. Lorana been like, no.
She tried to kill us all.
Literally the worst.
I'm gonna cut that bitch.
But
so we keep moving on here.
Did we miss that Tanis faints?
Yes.
Again?
He faints again.
I mean, he literally faints again. Like, who out there is defending Tanis? Because I'm going to take you on. Because he is fainting again.
Hey, he clearly has a blood pressure problem. Nobody faints that much.
If he just wore magnet bracelets around his wrists and his ankles and fixed that right up.
I heard lavender essential oils on your wrist.
But
it's not lavender.
Or just keep some of Tika's, sweet muffins with him all the time.
Again,
to get his sugar.
Well, then he wakes up and starts making plans with Markham, who I like Lord Markham. But it's like, so if you are the leaders of this town and we had called Tanis.
Is Markham the one that's getting hammered during all this?
Yes.
I love that.
Yes. Like, I would be too if Tanis were in charge of this stuff.
We're gonna die anyways. I might as well die drunk.
Yes, it's true. But I mean, we last episode had established that Tanis, not having Lorana and instead having Tanis, was like during the Gulf War.
Schwarzkopf.
having Schwarzkopf's wife show up. Now imagine she's fainting all the time. Like, why are they moving Tannis's fainted body into the castle?
Okay,
Like,
what we need to be doing is the
wait for an idiot to wake up so we can talk about strategy. No wonder Lord Markham's sitting around drinking.
I would be too. This is supposed to be my 1 weekend away from the wife, where I go hang out with the boys. I would go hang out with the boys at the National Guard base, and so I'm not changing my plans.
I think we're meant. I think we're meant to dislike
I plan
him.
to drink, and I shall.
I think we're meant to dislike
Tannis
him.
or-
No, Lord Markham. Like, I think
okay.
we're supposed to think that he's kind of foppish and always drunk and not doing his thing.
see,
But I like him because he's the only guy who's
because we
real
just,
around here.
and because we just did it, this was almost a Roka Fabi moment for me.
Oh yeah.
Because it just talks about him sitting laid back, and he keeps refilling his goblet as everybody's talking. He calls them idiots. And
Markham, not the hero we deserve, but the hero we need.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we get to the point here where, Bamf, hey, Caramon and Taz are here.
Yeah.
Kind of cool, because I really didn't know what was going on. Here, I'm like, why are we taking all this time with, we have all this stuff going on, and I like occasionally when we can get into battles and get into, Soldier Number 5's head. But I really, through this whole part leading up to this, I'm like, why are we with these people? So much is going on. We should be with main characters.
Yeah, I agree.
And this is something I harped on last episode because I hadn't gotten this far in the reading yet.
Yeah.
Caramon's wearing his armor. Caramon did pillage his own corpse.
Yeah. Which wasn't talked about, right? Like, or unless we missed it, he never did. He never.
They never
said
talked
it.
about it. I don't think they needed to say it though.
They never talked about it, but it shows up and it talks about how he's wearing his armor.
Yeah, I don't think they would have needed to until right now. It would have been
And it's his armor from the future. I have to believe
Are
that.
we in book 3?
No, chapter 13.
Chapter 13.
Yeah.
Okay, I do want to bring it back to the end of chapter 12 because
let's
it's
do
the
it.
dumbest freaking line I've ever read.
Is this Tannis' speech?
It must be.
You have a thing
Because I just stopped because I figured listeners would hate how much
I just kept
hate that I
jumping
had.
it. I was done with this.
Yeah.
Another brandy, Charles, said Sir Markham, holding out his glass once again. A pledge, gentlemen, he raised his glass. Here's to trying. Rhymes with dying.
I like that.
I don't know.
We have
filler
because we have
filler.
No, because we have Tannis. We have Tannis going. Well, we have to try. And does my Taz voice. But, we have Tannis going. Well, guys, we need to try because trying's the right thing to do. Here's to trying.
Right.
Rhymes with dying, dumbass.
Right. But maybe we're reading this wrong.
When you put it that way.
Maybe Weiss and Hickman, this is what they want, is that they want to create a picture of complete incompetence on the side of Palanthas.
They did
because
it well.
we have an over-emotional half-elf, an incompetent ruler, and a drunk knight all sitting in a room.
Well, I mean, it's the decadence of Palanthas.
Right.
And, well, we've been neutral in the other wars. They left us alone in the Cataclysm. Nobody's actually going to get to us.
Trace, in the
you know what this is? It's a parallel with what was that city that fell under the mountain?
are you talking about
where the boys traveled back in time to?
The boys in the Cataclysm going back to
The Cataclysm.
the Cataclysm.
The mountain fell on
Istar. On Istar?
It's a parallel of Istar.
Oh,
that's all it is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't
know what Tracy says it's a parallel to?
Oh God, what?
9/11.
This was written before 9/11.
This was written in '86.
No, but he
oh, thank God.
He goes through this big long thing
I was gonna throw my book at the wall.
Yeah. He goes through this big thing in the annotations about how this is just like the feelings before 9/11. I'm like,
no.
Okay. Well,
okay. I can't.
A city who had never been attacked. We'll just leave it like that. Let's just say
they
that.
were attacked last year. This just happened.
But they never breached the wall.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, why is this entire city so lethargic about defense when this had just happened 2 years ago?
I need a minute.
That's why we have the poor people to fight our wars, man. We send them out there.
They're being led by a drunk and an incompetent ruler. That's why. That's how
That's so dumb.
So
I thought maybe like I came up with something here. I walked in the other room, audience.
yeah, because you
I don't know if you could hear.
Because and that makes no sense that we are setting up this town as being a city that has never been attacked. But
Except they were.
Except that they were.
No, the wall was attacked. That's like miles away,
No.
man.
This is a parallel to Istar, and I'm holding on to that because that makes me feel good.
That's better than a parallel to 9/11.
Yeah, well, yeah. What?
And
after the
Tracy,
fact.
After the fact.
A 20-year after the fact.
Well,
parallel
yeah.
to 9/11.
Tracy, if you saw 9/11 coming and didn't tell anybody, you're literally Hitler.
But anyway,
You don't just and 9/11.
oh boy, let's get back on track. Chapter 13. Tanis writes a letter to Lorana, but we don't know what's in it yet. At the end of the chapter, we'll find out because it's there. But Dalamar shows up and gives Tanis some magic bracelets. They will protect him against stuff
Hey,
like
Chuck, just
the
go-
die spell.
Go bring this letter to my wife, or make sure this letter gets to my wife. Oh yeah, I know the perfect guy. He doesn't want to stay here anyway. That's actually the line from the book.
Yeah. So I do like the idea that Lord Soth is way too powerful. We've talked about how awesome he is.
I like the idea of bracelets or any sort of like enchanted,
like Wonder Woman's power bracelets. Yeah.
Or even it could have been a
No,
ring.
it's an enchanted item. At least you have something to
He needs
kind
these.
of even the feel.
Yeah, he needs these because we've talked about how Soth is a bigger character than these books. And now Tanis is going to go up against him. He needs him some power bracelets.
Yeah, he needs that bracelet. He needs that magnet. Those magnets are all around him. I don't know. He needs something.
You do.
So, but here's the trouble that I have in this. Okay, no, it's just nothing but trouble.
The trouble?
I feel like, we're going to get so much hate for this. I mean, oh God, I don't know. But I don't have a lot of positive things to say.
We haven't pulled our punches yet. Why start now?
That's true. But this is true. The problem that I have here is even if you're going to have all these neutered characters in this in this city, at least you've got to set them up like the Ewoks against the Empire, where, okay, these flying citadels are coming. Figure out a way to take them down, even if it's contrived, that you have what army you can there, and maybe the local population comes in, and you have some sort of ridiculous plan where Tanis can at least be saying, hey, in the last time, these floating citadels, if we just get like trebuchets and like launch barrels of oil and coat it, and then archers, there's no plan. There is no plan.
You guys stay here and die. We're gonna sneak 3 people onto the Death Star and see what we can blow it up from the inside.
There is no defense happening here. It's ridiculous. I would have set up a better fight for the population here, that you come up, even if it's contrived and it fails.
Well, that's a very good point.
Housewives like lighting things on fire and throwing them at the Citadel.
Yeah, you get archers with fire arrows. You know, they act like they can't possibly fight against these citadels. Well, you know what? You should sit for one day, guys, on a couch and try to come up with ideas for how these guys could fight a citadel that would be cool, keep us engaged. In the midst of that whole battle and diversion, then you would sneak on
Maybe
board.
come up with something, divert the tower,
Yeah.
get it away from the civilians.
You've got dragons.
Exactly what you said. No, you all stay down here and die.
Yeah.
3 of us are going to go up there. And
Well, we're not even there yet
around.
because Soth is riding in.
That's
Tanis
true.
is
Yeah,
going to
which I like that.
I do want to bring up...
Caramon and Tass have appeared now with Astinus' Chronicle, so they know everything that's going to happen.
I do want to bring up in chapter 13. Really, all I got in the audiobook was some like highlights from the war room, including the bracelet, and then like towards the end it says, "Oh yeah," and Tanis wrote a farewell letter to his wife. Book three, The Return.
Yeah, that is all you need.
Moves on.
That is all you need.
Okay,
don't read this letter.
I'm not going to read the whole letter, but I hate this letter.
Oh.
I hate this letter with a passion, because even if you read it, it's like, Lorana, my beloved wife, which is what you would go, how you'd start it, right? But as you read through it, it's just him whining. Like, to be honest, my dearest, I see no hope that any of us can survive. I face without fear the knowledge that I shall probably die. I believe I can honestly say that. Like, it's all this like ridiculous melodrama from Tanis. There's no hope of anything. He doesn't tell Lorana anything like, my dearest, if I should happen to die, you know, this, and the other thing, but maintain hope, maintain the cause, keep up the fight, all of that, none of the things.
Know in your heart,
Yeah.
I will always love
My
you.
dearest Lorana.
And then at the end, Tracy says in his annotations, I love this letter, a soldier's heart poured out to his great love. Such letters have been written with aching hearts since antiquity, and sadly we are not finished writing them yet. Here in this story, we get a sense of the depth of Tanis' love for Lorana and the horror of and the honor of his commitment for their love. No, we don't. We get how Tanis is how he always is. He has no hope. Never does he have hope for anything. He's always hopeless. And he always thinks he's going to die. And how dare you compare this letter to anything a soldier has written home? I can't believe it. I'm so ticked.
No, you're right. You're totally right. It's not. It's just some defeatist manifesto. That's
Yeah,
all it
exactly.
is.
Yeah. Here comes a floating castle. We're all going to die. Sorry, babe.
I hope you enjoyed my bearded kisses while you had them, because I'm out of here.
Yeah, you don't do that. You give her hope to continue the fight. Like, hey, this isn't over. If they're coming through, you're the golden general. I know you can figure this out. I believe in you. You know, I can you give her something of your love and your hope and your affection. You don't whine about how you've accepted your death and there's no hope. It's just ridiculous.
But it's written in the book.
And it shouldn't be.
True. But hey,
Can we leave Tanis alone, please? I've been trying to get to Taz and Caramon.
let's get to book 3.
Yay! Taz and Caramon.
You only get book 3, a little the pre-chapter, The Return.
Yeah.
Taz and Caramon are here. You know what? Caramon's leg is still all bummed.
May want to get May want to get one of the clerics to look at that.
Oh shoot! I done forgot there were clerics in this time. You weren't gone that long. Actually, he was.
But for him, it was a while.
Yeah,
That's the big thing. It's that
I've
time.
lived years, Tanis.
Yeah.
One thing that I think is awesome is in chapter 1 we get that Caramon has the Chronicles of Astenus with him, so he can read about future events.
This was the whole thing.
That's cool.
That was in the beginning
Actually-
of mine and Paul's book.
Yeah.
Actually,
Or a copy of it.
Yeah.
Actually, I wish that it wasn't called the It wasn't called. They didn't keep referring to it as the Chronicles
Because we know it as the Chronicles.
because the Chronicles was the first 3.
That's true.
Had it been like the Legends of Astenus or Astenus Legends?
Yeah, true.
I'm like
The Legends
what?
of
I'm like, why
Kryn.
the hell does he have the Chronicles? What good are the books from 2 years ago going to do?
Hey, remember that
I thought it was a really cool like fourth wall break shout out to the reader that always got he always got the Chronicles. What are the Chronicles going to do for him? This is Legends.
Right.
I think this is one of the most it's an actually smart tactical decision.
Yes.
We haven't seen one of these in a very, very long time.
Caramon is coming out as being much stronger.
Yeah,
here
it's
as a
nice.
character.
Well, not even just Caramon.
I got
just
some
I'm
books
sick
of
of
future.
Tanis.
Yeah.
Let's read. What's the first thing we read that's going to happen now?
Right. But I love this. Soth rides up to the city gates, which is awesome, and he demands that the city allow Kitiara to pass. Amothus just...
We're still talking. We're
Chapter
still talking
1.
about
Yeah.
Caramon reading from the Chronicles.
Yeah.
What is about to happen?
What is about to happen.
And this is I'm just pulling from what I know.
Right.
From what happens. This is how you do foresight correctly.
Yes.
This is done very well.
Very well.
Yes,
Soth
it's
is
great
coming.
foreshadowing.
Soth is coming. Kit needs the keys to the tower. Palanthos isn't going to yield, and Soth's undead horde is going to take the city.
Yeah.
Tanis' bracelet saves him, but not Fireflash, and Tanis dies in combat because of that.
Right. And now for all...
How long has that been queued up?
It's on a loop. Someone save us.
But for all the...
I'm sorry, I've been holding that for the moment that
That was
Tanis
beautiful.
dies.
That's beautiful.
But for all the fans who probably don't like that we ripped on Tanis for so much...
show yourselves.
Yeah, this scene with Soth is awesome. His army approaching, and he's got these skeleton warriors.
Absolutely.
This stuff is just awesome.
Frost
That
is
is-
crawling up the city.
Yeah,
That's one thing
yeah.
I'm
Get out of
wondering.
town.
They had so much filler. Why didn't they fill it with more
Of
Soth?
this.
More of this stuff. Soth could be invading
This
through a bunch of
legendary invasion of Palanthon.
Yeah.
An undead. Yeah, you
But
were totally
he's
right,
got
Paul.
you got chariots made of human bones being pulled by wyvern. It's unbelievable. It's so cool. I totally agree. Forget the stuff that you've padded out with. All of this stuff between these baddies should have been fleshed out.
It would have been so much better instead of
This
him
battle
just
should have been
appearing, it could have been-
expanded. Yeah.
Skeleton warriors climbing up like human flesh bone ladders up the
Right.
wall. And
But
getting
see,
pushed
that's why,
down.
where if you would have set up the local soldiers and population with some sort of strategy to fight these off, you could have had a few chapters of a battle between Soth's army and what was in Palanthas. But they haven't set any of that up, so all we're going to get is the Citadel stuff.
Again, what I'm thinking is that this was rushed.
Yes.
All of this had to have been rushed.
I agree.
But it's okay, because Tass is going to save Tannis.
Yeah, it's cool. Soth turns the gate to ice and shatters it, so we know all of that kind of stuff. But yeah. Tass.
Tass does his thing. He does his own little weird thing that tends to work.
Hey, Tannis, no, you can't go. You can't, no. And Tannis just no, I don't have time for you. I thought you were dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Caramon's coming. He's gonna... Caramon's dead. I thought you were dead.
Hold on. That's my thing, too, is you just found out your friends are alive, and that's what you do is, no, I must go.
No, you're
Your
dead.
friends are alive.
But he didn't know what.
All right.
I mean, it's only been like, what? A week or two for Tannis?
Okay,
he just saw him.
Yeah, just so.
But with Tannis, you think he'd be like real emotional because.
Oh my God, Tass!
But what is emotional is when they part ways. Like when Caramon goes one way to do his thing and Taz is sent to help Tannis, they have kind of a little exchange. I thought it was kind of touching. I really liked it. Yeah.
Well, they've been together for so long, and those two have gone through so much crap.
It's just been them for the last couple of years on their timeline.
Yeah, so,
right.
Yeah, Tannis won't come with Taz.
So he does the only thing he knows. He steals the bracelets and runs off.
He pickpockets it.
He steals a bracelet. I'm pretty sure this is a plot to a Disney Channel original movie at some point. I don't know.
I'm seeing Aladdin. He's just running through the streets.
Pull up. I'm gonna get you, Oh God, there's no bracelet.
Yeah. But
I had my lucky bracelet, and I was gonna go fight my arch nemesis, but then my friend stole it.
But chapter 2,
my friend's little brother stole it.
Tannis chases Taz down and tells Tass, from this moment on, their friendship ends.
Say that again?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this whole thing where like he beats up Taz.
Yeah, and says
God,
from this moment on, our friendship ends. Again, underlining that Tannis is a super douche.
You're just doing Kender crap. You're just being a stupid Kender. You're gonna kill everybody from now on. I don't want to talk to you anymore because I know what I'm gonna do.
To me, I don't understand why Taz wouldn't show up. Why is Tannis not gonna listen to what he has to say? None of this makes sense to me.
It's because it's Tannis. It's the best description we can get.
It's because they're doing whatever's convenient for the plot at this point. They're not going by what characters should be doing. They're going by what they want them to do.
Yeah,
There's no reason for him to do this snaky, douchey line to Tass.
Why would you say that?
After we had the Chronicles, where they were a group before the Chronicles, and everybody loves each other, and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, Tass shows up, and he kicks him to the curb, and we're not friends anymore, you little boy.
Yeah, at this point, Tannis should be committed to the 5th floor, and they should be doing a psych evaluation on him. Because he is just up and down. He should not be leading people, I'll tell you.
No, but that is, we all know he shouldn't be leading.
Yeah, but anyway, Taz does convince Tannis to help help Caramon. But meanwhile, Caramon is entering Shoiken Grove.
Yeah, Tannis ditches out on the Soth fight to go save Caramon because Caramon's over there yelling at some trees.
Guys, the trees, let me in. Let me in.
Yeah, I know the Lord of Death is coming with his army right now, but
I'm Raceland's brother.
There's a dude over here that I need to go help. So you guys got this. I'll be back later.
It's just all off. I don't know, but whatever. Tass and Tannis finally get up to Caramon, and then
their ghosts want Caramon's blood and flesh.
Yeah, so we are
phrasing. Spooky forest stuff happens,
which is really cool.
And then Caramon's okay.
Well, I don't understand why Caramon had to explain to them that he had the charm.
Yeah, that's not how charms
Well,
you know what? No,
they haven't
you
had
know
to
what?
do
No,
that before.
That's totally within Caramon's character.
Yeah.
I got this charm. Go in that forest.
Yeah.
Caramon, you just go in the forest. You don't need to explain it.
But no, I mean, wouldn't the spirits have automatically known that he had the charm anyways and not attacked him?
Who knows?
You would think, because it's like most of them can't really see. Most of the spirits are just kind of there and they'll grab anything. But no.
But
Disembodied eyes.
the charm is supposed to protect you from the ethereal spirits, and so therefore you shouldn't have to show the charm to the spirits to be protected.
Burt Macklin, FBI. Let me into this Shoiking Grove.
Yeah, but so right, isn't it Taz and Tanis can't get to Caramon, right?
No, Tanis saved Caramon.
Yeah,
It's
they pull him through the rest of the forest.
Yeah,
Caramon blacks out, and then he wakes up, and it's like he's kind of hallucinating a little bit. But Tanis, I guess, saved him.
Yeah, they
and
pull him from being.
And then they come up with this whole let's just steal the Citadel and fly.
Well,
into
I
the
don't want to
tower.
underline it, but at that point there, Tanis does cry again. I don't.
I wish this was a video podcast.
Oh my God.
The way you just looked
Oh
at
my
me.
god, I haven't seen. You got buff again. Oh god.
Yeah? What?
You got
what?
buff. How did you?
Why are you crying?
You look like the old man. You look like the old Caramon.
You're
You're
crying.
sober
What-
and you're
what-
buff.
Why are you
And
crying?
Stop making out already.
The tears need to stop. No.
Yeah. So, but I like. Okay, so we get to this plan. Okay, so let's just scrub away and wash away everything that we've said so far,
Let's get down to Tanis's plan.
Let's get down to this. So, let's just go with it for the fun that it could be in a movie. Hey, let's get on board because this is a good idea, I guess. Get on the Citadel. The Citadel is dark magic. The floating Citadel. So that's how we can get across Shoiken Grove.
Yeah,
I like this,
and I'm kind of on board with this.
I do too.
Bamfing into the Citadel. Basically, you are transporting into the enemy ship, and you're going to beat up, and you're going to take over the enemy ship from the inside.
Yeah. I like this. This is just fun.
There's 85 different Star Trek episodes that deal with this. I'm okay with that.
But the magical device only takes 2 people, so Tass, you can't come with.
But
He's
are you
always-
sure it doesn't take 2.5?
He's always screwing over Task, man. Now here's my question: why didn't they think of dropping troops off on dragons a long time ago?
Because
Did they?
They only have half a legion of dragons here.
Okay.
They're still waiting for all the other dragons that aren't going to get here for 4 days.
I think I get what you're saying, Paul. Because again, why don't you have that? That could have been a plan. Hey, we've only got, I don't know what a flight of dragons is, but we've got 10 dragons here. They can carry 2 people each. Let's dress them up as black-clad ninjas, and the dragons will fly over the Citadel, quietly dropping them into the Citadel again and again and again. I don't know.
What's a flight of wine? I feel like a flight of wine and a flight of dragons has to be the same.
4.
No, I couldn't be. I don't.
At any rate, before Tanis leaves, he tells Tass to keep out of trouble.
Right. That'll never happen.
Dude, there's literally a war happening.
That is not the line you say. Hey, Taz, stay out of trouble, eh?
No. Hey, friend, stay alive.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
Stay out of trouble, you douche.
Oh, remember I told you I never was going to talk to you again, and it all ends
They aren't
here.
friends anymore, so that's why it's just
We are not friends anymore.
You've already met. Damn, Kender's already messed things up enough.
Yeah. I mean, this is exactly like every, I would say, 8th grade relationship, girlfriend relationship, where it's first hour of the day, we are so not friends, don't ever talk to me again. And then by lunch, they're sharing
Babe, I love you. Oh, Beeb.
That was how I took Tanis this entire time, was just some late middle schooler, high schooler. I'm just God, shut up.
All right, so chapter 3, I love this. Taz is praying to Fizbin.
I always love it when Taz does stuff like that.
And Kirsa, hey, he just happens to fall out of the sky right in front of old Taz. Probably because of the prayer to Fizbin.
Fireflash.
Yeah, her name is Kirsa Fireflash.
Yes. Her secret dragon name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can we not say the secret?
Her, his.
Please don't, because I have no idea.
Yeah. So
What happens with secret dragon names stays with secret dragon names.
Yeah, I like this, and there's this whole battle between dragons. This is all super cool stuff. I like this.
Yeah.
It's nice little filler kind of things, but it's a lot of fun. This is what feels to me really Dungeons and Dragons ish.
Yeah, and this is what we call good filler. not random crap none of us care about.
Battles that would actually be happening in a fight, between dragons, which is really cool.
It was cool, but then like Taz just has Fireflash fly him up to the Citadel, so like
why can't everybody do this?
Why didn't they just ride the dragon up to the Citadel?
I don't know.
Because I have this cool transporter.
We don't,
because
that was written on the butcher paper and nobody cared. We're just going with it. They had 1 more week to meet this deadline. They just went with
They're going to use this transporter, and the dragon appears, guys.
So Taz hops on the Fireflash. Fireflash fires Taz up to the Citadel. Taz hops off and
eventually,
onto one of the sweet balconies up top. SUI.
Yeah.
TE.
What I love is he knows that Caramon has been there because there's smashed heads everywhere. Like, is this all
just follow the blood.
Follow the smashed draconian
what's with all
heads.
these busted watermelons everywhere?
Caramon has just his, trademark. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So he eventually gets in and runs to a balcony overlooking kind of, I don't know, like a courtyard or something on the Citadel where Tanis and Caramon are
and I do like the fact that I do like the
below.
statement of Caramon just has a log because that's better to fight.
which is cool.
There's no swords. I'm just going to beat you over the head.
Which again, all my problems usually with Tanis go away when he's just engaged with action with Caramon. Like now here he is just,
he doesn't have time to brood or do whatever he's
cry
going
or
to do.
faint. Like now he is just fighting with Caramon and he's cool.
Although he has beat the crap out of his really nice sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do have the line. Caramon's got a log. Taz's sword is all mangled as he's hacking away at these draconians that you don't really use a sword on.
Yeah, the whole turning to a stone thing comes and kind of goes. I like when they kind of constantly call it out because I do think it's a really cool part of the universe that you have to be so careful when fighting.
And that's why Caramon has a log.
Yeah, I like that.
Or what they say, they call it like a railing or a beam or part of a chair.
A rafter.
I mean, he put that extra feet into the unarmored or improvised weapon. So he decided he's going to use it.
But I like this because we have
of course they're backed up against a door.
Right. I love this because the Bozak Draconians show up, which are the ones that can, or a Bozak, which is one that can use...
This is black magic
dragon. Black magic dragon. Draconian. So Taz throws down the bracelet because it can block the magic, right?
And they tell, hey, we need you to open this locked door behind us. Like, all right, I'll be right down. No, you idiot, from the other side.
But I wanted to use my lockpick.
So Taz is going to run around and he bumps into this gully dwarf named Rounce.
Stop bringing the garbage Fraggles in.
I feel like this...
I was so pissed reading this because I'm like, is freaking boo-poo here.
Yeah.
That might have been pushing it.
But you know what? I feel like they're keying into the 80s movies of the time that are like this, like even Masters of the Universe. You have these like... I can see these as those weird... puppety, or from the Labyrinth, or Hoggle, like these little Hoggle running around with them. I can see this.
And no matter what genre it is, from the last 40 years, it's played by Warwick Davis.
Yeah. This is Warwick Davis dressed up as Hoggle from Labyrinth. So, but I don't mind for a while the whole Gully Dwarf Rounce stuff. It brings kind of a levity. Taz is always funny. Rounce with him is okay.
And this just what is the what is the movie where it's the guy? You don't do that.
It's God.
It's God. Anyways, okay.
Yeah, I got nothing.
So,
I can't believe that we can.
It is kind of it is kind of funny. You have Taz finally makes it to the other side of the door. He's trying to pick the lock with his knife, and you don't open doors with knives. You open doors with keys. Stupid garbage Fraggle holds up the key. And I'm like, really?
It's funny. Like again, if you are in the right mindset, this is all a lot of fun. But he ends up finding out that the Wind Captain's chair is on the top of the middle tower.
Yeah. So this garbage Fraggle just tells all. About the Citadel.
I'm not gonna tell you, and I'm not gonna tell you that it's there because I can't tell you that this is. I swore an oath, and so I can't tell you that it's in the center tower.
This starts out the first two lines are cute and fun, like the me not tell you, and then tells it. He gets like a page of exposition,
Yeah.
and it gets super annoying. Like, okay, now this is.
I can't tell you that this is the door.
This is
That's
dumb.
what- yeah.
This is dumb.
I can't tell you that this is the stairway up.
Gully Dwarf tells,
Me can't tell you this is lazy writing 101.
Gully Dwarf tells all
Yeah.
how the tower works and where to drive it.
Yeah, conveniently, the Gully Dwarf knows all of this when I thought they were idiots.
And then they kill the wind dude
Yeah.
and start driving the Citadel
That-
to
that
the
is-
tower.
Aren't Gully Dwarves? Aren't Gully Dwarves known for being complete idiots? How does he know all this crap?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
mean, they believe in
Well,
like
me not-
dead rat
me not-
magic.
Me not supposed to know, but me tell you.
But in the end, he convinces Rounce because then you get this wind captain's chair, which is like these two.
Which is too big for a Kender, so they gotta like. He's gotta like get on the Gully Dwarf's shoulders to
Right.
like drive and reach the pedals.
Right, and so they holding these. I don't know what they like hand steering. I saw these two like kind of pillars that he's got his hands on or something that he's maneuvering this. So they start maneuvering it with it. I'm of two minds of this. This is a lot of fun. I mean, like there's like haha Taz is flying the Citadel. We'll get to where I think it goes too far, but it's
Yeah.
It starts out like fun. Like if it would have just been like whoa, and they like kind of crash into the
I don't
Citadel.
know, I always feel like Taz's exploits kind of like show up at the wrong moments.
Emotionally, maybe sometimes. Yeah.
In this half of the book.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at
Not
least,
all.
I don't
of it.
know. Consulting the chronicles, Caramon learns that Kit kills Dalamar,
Yeah.
and that's why he doesn't stop Raceland.
Right.
Because Caramon's been in the future, he knows that Raceland wins.
Yeah.
Raceland becomes a god.
So they
blah,
need
blah,
to
blah.
get there and stop that.
Yes.
So into chapter 5, Dalamar watches the drunken wanderings of the Citadel as it approaches. So he sends guardians to the top of the tower to guard it.
It's just the cars going down the road, hitting lampposts and stuff, and it stops, and the kid gets out.
Yep. Yeah. Right, for sure. But then we get, again, a kind of a hot scene for you, Claude.
Oh God, I
this,
love that.
Kitiara shows up all
Oh, no,
ripped
I'm gonna
and
bring
tattered
it
up.
back really quick
What,
to
we
that.
are in the middle of Kitiara showing up.
We are in the
all-
middle of Klobb's like wonderful
Yeah,
moment of this.
This is important because I'm also coming in with positivity.
Oh,
That Caramon learning about Kit killing Dalamar, and that's why he couldn't stop Raceland.
Yeah.
It's kind of starting to mend this whole like, well, why would you tell me everything that's going to happen just for me to learn that it happened?
Right.
You know, like that whole thing. So it's starting to feel better.
Right.
But
I agree.
Kitiara.
Yep.
Yeah, Kitiara shows up and she's basically knocks on the door. Delmar opens the door and
Dalamar's just Jay chillin'.
she's all laid out. And she doesn't have her armor on. She's
Okay,
got,
see,
she's got that
she's
skin
not
tone.
all laid out, but that's
No,
probably
yeah.
how you saw it in your
Yeah,
head.
She's bleeding. She's beaten up.
Yeah,
but Klobb skipped over that part. Of
she's just down. She's just down to that skin tight bodysuit you wear under the armor.
So in Klobb's world, the door opens and a saxophone immediately starts playing from somewhere. But it did for me too.
But you know what? Dalamar ain't no fool.
No, he knows.
Yeah, he figures out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That,
Also,
well, there's something a little odd about this.
The dragon statues of the portal, their eyes are glowing
Right.
faintly.
Yep. But I won't lie, they got
Sounds dope.
they got me on this one because he has to like support Kitiara.
Yeah.
And
Kid's all beat up, but still looking fine as hell.
Well, and he picks her up, and they're all
Yeah.
close, and she slides the knife out. He stabs him as he's trying to hug her, and
they got me.
then he force lightnings her into
Yeah.
the corner.
yeah.
I did not see her stabbing him that soon coming.
No.
I did not see that. So when she stabs him, I was like, "Whoa, good! That's a good move."
I was expecting them to have that conversation, stab. You know,
Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
Not just kind of like
Where did you have that
stab.
dagger when
Yep.
what you had left of your clothing on?
I was waiting for it to come closer to the climax, no pun intended. But I thought that we would be at the moment as Raceland is trying to come back through the portal, that there'd be some sort of fight going on between Kitiara and Dal. I wasn't prepared for it now, so I thought good on them for that one. Meanwhile, Caramon and Tennis are dropping down onto the Death Walk and are attacked by the Guardians, and they cry out to Dalamar for help.
Yeah, Tannis bites his tongue.
Yeah, right. So on to
What?
did he
Yeah,
cry?
that's-
Did it make him
I
cry?
don't remember that at all.
I don't think so.
No, when they jumped down into the death walk, he bit his tongue because he landed hard.
Yeah.
Like why would you even write that?
Yeah.
Because, well, and again,
He's ridden a dragon.
No, and
Like he's not.
But
like,
he was passed out at the
But
time.
no, this was the jump roll.
Yeah, that's true.
This is the jump roll. You
can't-
need
no, we've established
you
this is
needed a
lazy
7.
writing.
You needed a 7 to make the jump roll. He made a 6.
yeah.
So okay, you bit your tongue when you landed.
I guess. It's just odd. Like
The
that.
ghosts
I
are
don't
ready
know.
to munch them boys up, though.
I like it. On to chapter 6. Kit and Dalamar have a nice little fight. Like you were saying, they're having this little fight.
Dalamar lives.
Dalamar almost loses his arm, and Kit keeps being blasted in the chest. And I'm like, oh, don't ruin that.
So here's what's going on here.
Now she's a crispy hottie.
Yes. Dalamar and Kitiara are fighting,
Yes.
but nobody has interfered yet. So technically, everything that is happening right now was going to happen anyway.
Right.
So
And Delmar has his one arm like 3/4 of the way chopped off.
That's awesome. I love that.
I like the quick little drop. I do really like the quick little drop here about how he's like, oh, but I can get if I can only get to my healing ring. Oh crap, that's on the arm that's hanging on by a sinew, so he's got to like shimmy over with his other hand and like pull the ring of healing off the one hand so that he can actually use it.
I do
to
love
stay
that.
alive.
Yep.
yeah, and he pretty much does die, but he fights for his life and deactivates the Guardians as they are trying to
Yeah.
bring down.
Yeah, that's kind of his.
Tannis and
That's kind of his dying mode.
Yeah.
This is his last death rattle is bringing down the.
putting in the 4-digit code to
Yes.
deactivate the security system.
Yes,
Which is cool. So the
Kiara's just crispy in the corner going, and not the good.
but it could be. Like we don't know. That'd be up to the
We don't know what she's into.
I'm into a lot of things, but force lightning to the chest is not one of them.
It depends on how it's done. But like,
Here it is. Oh,
the Guardian leads them to the laboratory, and as they they go. Dalamar is there. They're talking to him, and a thrown dagger bounces off Tannis's armor. It's Kitiara, and Tannis goes to her.
well, but no, I'm not going to groan. I shouldn't groan because this Kitiara dying here.
I was pissed.
We know you.
Oh God, no! This is one of the most like satisfying moments of this book.
I wouldn't have mind. I was actually okay with the way she was dying here, and kind of okay, she's dying, and she's dying in Tannis's arms, and he's kind of seeing the last breath of his old life go away, so he can really truly be in love with Lorana now. I was okay with that, but when she busted into Whitney Houston in her dying breath. And I
Yeah, that was
will always love you.
It's like a scene right out of The Bodyguard.
Or-
All of a sudden, Tannis is Kevin Costner.
or if you're a purist, Dolly Parton.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. I'll take the girl on the
could
coat
have
of many
done
colors.
Just
any day.
reach up, caress his cheek quick, give him flash him that wicked smile one more time, and die.
Yeah.
We don't need to diminish the power that Kitiara has built up throughout this entire series by having her go, I always loved you.
Yeah, we could have ruled the world.
We do.
Okay.
We do. She gets exactly what she deserves in the end.
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
she isn't. She's sitting there. She's laying. She's dying. She starts to realize, oh God, I screwed up so bad. Well, not even that she screwed up so bad. She's just kind of like, she becomes like so desperate
Right.
and
Yeah.
pitiful.
Yeah.
And no, keep him away from me.
Right.
And she perishes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she gets exactly
Exactly.
what she deserves.
I was
dies
okay with the keep him away from me because
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
that was so cool.
That was
Right.
cool.
That's
I
like-
just
they
didn't
turn
like-
around, there's
I just-
nobody there.
Yeah, I just didn't
Oh my
like. I
God, that
just
was
didn't
super
like the.
cool.
I just didn't like the. I always love you.
Yeah.
When I'll cut down the middle,
Pathetic, and it's
that
what she deserves.
I'll cut down
I
the
have a
middle.
problem with powerful women.
No. Oh God, no.
No. Yeah.
Powerful evil women.
The evil might put you over the edge.
Oh, it's so hot.
I'm gonna cut down the middle and say that I think
Well,
it's
yeah,
actually a really well written scene.
It is.
It's done very well.
is.
My problem is
That's the only thing that I had a problem
Yeah.
with was that ending line.
well, my problem is that it's Tannis in here.
I was waiting. I was waiting for Tannis to come back.
Again, what I said earlier, that could not have been Lorana.
Because no, it couldn't have. But again, I then this makes me just
if it's Lorana, and this is up to you, Brendan.
Yeah.
If it's Lorana, the dagger bounces off the back of her armor. Lorana picks up the dagger, walks over, stabs Kitiara in the throat, turns around and walks away, and there's no words.
That is
nothing.
true.
Quick,
That is
efficient, and then just kind of Lorana turns around. She's all yours.
But I get it. I
God.
pine for the fact that these scenes could have been so much more powerful because Tanis has been so awful in other scenes. It strips, for me personally, a lot of the power of these because Tanis is not the character for me that I think he should be. So then I'm not really care. Like these love triangles could be cool. The struggle between Tanis, Lorana, and Kitiara could be cool. But Kitiara is cool, so I like her. I'm with you that I like her final death here.
And so, as Kitiara dies, as all of a sudden the Stargate opens,
I really hope that the water thing comes out, the bubbles and water comes out.
No, I've never liked that.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
I always loved it when it halved the guy.
Yeah, because it kills people. I love it.
Yeah, except for
It's
they got that.
It's just by the time that I watched
SG-1?
Stargate anything.
Well, there can't be anything.
No,
it should only be SG-1.
Yeah.
The CGI,
Atlantis had its moments.
The
Atlantis
CGI
had
was
its moments.
so old by the time I watched
it
it. It's just like some weird
You need to be watching it on like VHS over a tube TV.
Yeah, but
then it looks okay.
yeah, I should have.
You need to go back to James Spader and Kurt Russell.
That's
I
that's some
love
good
James
stuff.
Spader,
That's some good
first of all.
stuff.
Chapter 7 is the only thing that was skipped that I disagree with in the audiobook.
Why did they skip that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't have like any notes about it.
This stuff is really good, so I'm shocked that they
Yeah.
skipped it. We find out that Rayson will open the portal before fighting Takesis so that he can come back when he's weak. They might have skipped a lot of it because it sets up what's going to happen.
That was essentially all I got.
Yeah. So this is what will allow Caramon to enter. So we're getting the justification for why can Caramon enter the Abyss. Telling to Ennis to tell Tika he loved her, Caramon strides into the Abyss, which this is just such a cool scene. Now, again, there is stuff that is so awesome in this book, and this is one of them that there is completely an A and a B story going on here. And this is part of the A story.
Yes, just badass. Just good old-fashioned carrot. Tell my wife I love her.
Who walks into the
and I feel like this is the completion of Caramon. Finally,
yes.
He has had so much character arc that some of it's been good, and then it kind of went all over the place.
This is the fulfillment.
Finally, him going, all right, screw this. Tell my wife I love her.
Yeah, right.
And he goes into the Abyss. Are you not entertained?
Yes.
I like that Tanis and Dalamar can sit there and watch this all on the big screen.
They got a good 72 inch. But
Dalamar's still like bleeding out.
I know.
Yeah, you'll be fine. It's just a flesh wound.
Right.
Golly, I hope that they get to the end before I die.
Yep. But then, hold your breath. Soth shows up at the very end, which is great. But chapter 8, again,
the whole bit with Soth in chapter 8 was skipped.
What?
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what this audiobook was doing.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
But yeah, Caramon finds Chris in the Abyss.
Sees the stake like they used to burn witches on. It's
blind.
She's blind,
and dying.
I
do like the art that we were given. It's just like these eyes crying.
Right.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Right. We have kind of a weird homage to Christ on the cross, where she's crying that Paladine, why have you forsaken me, and all this kind of stuff. If there's one weakness. Okay, actually, why should I say if there's one weakness, I'll give this book.
Weakness?
Maybe this is one of the reasons this book is weak. The last two, I think, was playing very heavily with Christian metaphor. There really isn't any here. This is just them culminating the story, and I feel that that's why when there's not the blueprint of some greater mythos that they're overlaying.
Yeah.
It starts falling apart, and that's why you have Tanis on Tass on the shoulders of a gully dwarf, and you have the stuff that we're going to end up having at the end, is because they're losing that epic mythos that they were overlaying.
And why didn't they kind of take? They've done it for so many other books. Why didn't
I feel
they
like you
kind of
start
go back
over
into religion a little bit and use it again? Because you've done it for so many books, and don't get me wrong, I don't fault them for using it. It's a story that's been going around for years.
To me, I don't understand why they didn't amp up the demonicness of this.
Yeah.
Where it's like Satan trying to attain the throne. You are going into the abyss to fight gods. What is the rest of the pantheon of these gods doing? Like, why is this not an epic struggle happening in the abyss between
I do think
gods?
that comes down to like the gods in this universe is kind of like hands-offness.
Yeah.
It's your decision and what you do.
Right.
It's your free will.
Right.
It's...
True. Yeah.
What does a whale have to do with anything?
Oh, it's free will-y.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Caramon thinks that he can carry her back to the portal, and then Raceland appears, which is, getting close to what we did as our intro.
Yeah.
But Chapter 9, this Lord Soth, so you said none of this Lord Soth stuff is in the audio.
Chapter 7, Chapter 8, Chapter 10.
Wow.
Really?
Amazing.
Nothing.
Wow. So Lord Soth comes in and carries Kitiara away.
Wait, Soth gets a song?
The way this chapter starts, too, I do really like the way this chapter starts, because we have great artwork for the chapter here. We just have Soth coming in, and it's just Delmar on the ground. Enter the Night of the Black Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like all this. Tanis finally lets her go instead of fighting. Which he should, since he's got Lorana, the most beautiful woman in the world.
He should have done this a long time ago, where he's just like, all right, you've caused too much issue, Club. Now I know you like those. I know you like Kit, but you just gotta get
that brings me back to my issue with Tanis. I mean, he's married up to probably the coolest woman in the entire world, still can't see it, and is constantly pining over Kitiara, which is fine, and with a better character would work. I like the idea of having this triangle
in Tanis.
Yes, that this triangle would be very compelling and very cool, but it all hinges on these characters being likable or believable or understandable, and Tanis just is failing. I feel at every turn.
If it gets too crazy, Tanis is just going to faint. So
I mean, he's the one fainting and crying over everything. It's unbelievable, which I think is a constant a conscious decision, because you do have two incredibly strong female characters.
That's true.
So are they making then Tanis, the half-elf weak? But it's not working for me. It's not working for me anyway. Lord Soth's song.
Oh, God.
Seems a little unlord softly.
Can we please chant this together?
Set aside the buried light of candle, torch, and rotting wood, and listen to the turn of night caught in your rising blood. How quiet is the midnight love, how warm the winds where ravens lie, where all the changing moonlight love pales in your fading eye. How loud your heart is calling, love, how close the darkness at your breast. How hectic are the rivers, love, drawn through your dying wrist. And love, what heat your frail skin hides, as pure as salt, as sweet as death. And in the dark and red moon rides the foxfire of your breath!
So, Luke, how do you feel? How do you feel about what we just did?
Doesn't sound like anything Lord Soth should be. Oh, your love. Oh.
He's just a dark, misunderstood, brooding dude.
So earlier in the chapter artwork, we had the crying eyes. Now, chapter 10, we have the closed eyes.
Are they closed?
Right.
I thought it was.
They're closed.
Oh, they are closed.
They are
I thought they
closed.
were just white.
No, because if you look at the eyelashes are down, which means they're closed.
Right.
Okay.
Well, chapter 10, we've got what we did for our intro, which I think is probably one of the most powerful scenes. All of this is super powerful. These last chapters with the portal and what happens with Raceland is the culmination of this entire Twins trilogy, the relationship between Caramon and Raceland. This stuff is awesome. So if Dragonlance fans, if you're still listening, This stuff is awesome. We're with you. We're fans. We're just dogging on stuff. It's like we're Star Wars fans. We dog on Jar Jar. We dogged on some stuff. Now we're back. This is the stuff that's cool. This is why we love these books, is this stuff right here. Raistlin is approaching the portal pursued by Takesis. It's just awesome. He is confronted by Caramon. Caramon, finally, his arc has come full circle. He is ready to confront his brother.
Yes.
This stuff was giving me chills. I loved this chapter.
Yeah.
Loved it.
This is a chapter that you can read and then kind of go back and read again, and you might find something else that you enjoyed.
Right.
As well. If you focus on one thing too much and then you'll focus on another thing, these are the type of chapters I like.
This back and forth we get with the brothers, this
is awesome.
What happens? I mean, the redemption of Raistlin.
Let's do over this. Let's
just get to like the high points
exactly. Let's just talk because we know what happens. We did it as an intro.
Yes.
Was this enough for you? The redemption of Raistlin?
It was no. It was out of nowhere. It was far too quick, but it still hit me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Oh my God! Did it hit?
Did
it hit me at the end of this whole? I'm like, I actually paused the audiobooks and just sat there. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And that is when you know you have good writing, when you have to go back into it and things like that. I don't know.
I don't know about all that. I actually got emotional during the Red Rising trilogy.
Yeah, right.
And this I feel like this just snuck up on me.
Okay.
That's all this did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a character that's so powerful that you never think is going to leave.
And you've been playing him.
Yeah, and maybe that's more of an attachment that I have to him.
Right.
I don't know, but it's just like, and then he's, I'm not going to say that I agree with how it went.
Okay.
But I'm going to say that no matter the fact, he left, and I felt it.
Yeah, right. I agree.
And okay, did I miss something here? Because he gives the staff to Caramon.
Right.
Caramon's not a magic user. Can anybody use the staff of Magnus?
It comes up in 11.
I'd see even in 11 I didn't get like how he was able
he
to
kind of
it's
like that ghost of him kind of like comes through and activates it.
Yeah.
It's
okay,
kind of like
right.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know if it's like
I was just confused because there was a big thing in Chronicles on how nobody can touch the staff.
I just assumed that was Raistlin just being Raistlin and not letting.
No, like it burned a couple people in Chronicles.
Oh,
I don't know. Can you give it up and allow it to be touched?
Goldmoon staff.
No, I think his staff.
His staff did it.
Oh, was it? I thought it was Goldmoon's because what's his name?
Goldmoon's definitely did.
Because the one guy gets burnt by it and thrown in the fire.
Well, I know,
I feel it's kind of like a time release spell or something.
Maybe
Caramon doesn't do it.
Maybe it's because I was feeling what you were feeling, Luke, too, where it was like, oh God, this is where it goes.
Yeah.
And maybe I was looking for something because I was looking for something more with Caramon, other than just here's my staff. All right, I'll take off.
Yeah.
Well, he does have to yell at him. There's the whole thing where like Caramon tries to come back for him.
I was gonna say I feel like there was this unspoken understanding between brothers that Raistlin recognizes in Caramon that he's finally knows who he is and that you can't use Caramon anymore, and Caramon's going to leave his brother behind. Finally have the guts to do it, and Raistlin is. I think we're supposed to. Raistlin knows he's going to his death and is finally sacrificing his life for his brother and for the rest of the world. And I found it all very powerful, and I like that his soul finds redemption and peace in some ways at the end. But I'm of two minds of that. I don't know how I feel about that. He has been such a hateable character as well. I mean, we all know we're all fans of Raistlin. We love him and hate him. He's one of those characters, But I don't know if morality speaking wise, if what he does here at the end is enough.
I think it was just
for redemption of soul.
I think I wanted a little bit more on the redemption aspect, like you, Bob.
Yeah.
This almost tied it up in a bow too nicely for me.
Right. I will go that this is Hickman, again, drawing from Christianity, but maybe not in a satisfying way for a narrative, where in Christianity, it doesn't matter the magnitude of the evil you do.
As long as you confess on your deathbed.
You can, that it will be taken away no matter what. As long as you believe. But that might not be satisfying narratively when when you're telling a story. You know, where you might want a little bit more instead of just like a last minute, "Oh, I believe in you," and then you're resting in the arms of the
Yeah. Well, he wasn't. Except he never. It does get to rest in anywhere. He is eternally there. He's going to be slowly dying, and then eventually.
True,
I
but
don't
there's
think his,
not pain. There's not the anguish and pain involved. So at first,
Well,
you
no,
get
there
this.
is the anguish and pain involved because Takesis is going to be giving him that anguish and pain the entire time. isn't it?
He's protected from her.
No, because at first she's ripping him apart, and he feels the anguish and pain. But the last lines of that chapter are
I must have missed that.
he ends up like
sleeping,
like he's
finally at peace.
He's finally at
protected
peace.
from her.
Oh.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
not
that-
in forever torment.
That changes kind of
Which-
how I feel
Well,
about this.
And I don't know
I
if
figured
we're
that was
supposed to
more
take
like
it that way.
a mental peace. He's still being tortured forever.
Oh, okay.
But he's okay because that's
I guess no. I'm sorry. In his heart, he's at peace.
yeah.
Oh, see, I
and
didn't.
I took it as like maybe
are
this
the
is
last
maybe this is Paladine stepping in a little bit and like, okay, you're just done.
You guys talking about this did like I remember that really enjoying it, and then actually
really like
pausing
it. I
and
really
going
like
back
it.
to it again. And actually, when we did the read through for the skit, it was sorry. You have the ending. For us.
The ending. So you get the torment
Holy
where
crap,
it says.
there's also a bunch of annotations.
Oh yeah, there is. The dragon's coils tightened, crushing out his breath. Glistening black fangs ate his living organs, devoured his heart, tearing into his body. They sought his soul. Then a strong arm encircled him, holding him close. A hand raised, gleaming with silver light, forming childish pictures in the night. And the voice, dimly heard, whispered, "Look, raced bunnies." Is that his right?
He's losing his goddamn mind. That's
Right,
what's
but
going on.
well, wait. He smiled, no longer afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Caramon was here. The pain eased. The dream was driven back. From far away, he heard a wail of bitter disappointment and anger. It didn't matter. Nothing mattered anymore. Now he just felt tired, so very, very tired. Leaning his head in his brother's arms, Raistlin closed his eyes and drifted into a dark, dreamless, endless sleep. I feel like he
And
is.
you took that as his losing his mind.
Yeah.
I took that as him being late.
Yeah.
I took that as
Yeah.
a Paladine thing.
Yeah,
I took that as a paladin,
Reading
giving
through
him
that-
rest. He's at rest. I feel
No, I'm not. No.
no,
No,
Raistlin is
Not because I don't want. Well, I do not want that to be a thing.
Yeah, right. Okay.
That's such a cop out.
Because why would Takesis scream in frustration and anguish?
Yeah.
because
it-
he no longer cares.
It's not.
I can
it's
actually.
not. It's not a paladine thing. It's just that
I don't know if it's paladin.
It's
I don't
his
know.
heart's at ease here.
I can see both points here because
Bright
with
silver light.
with your point, Luke, I can see it as she is extremely she wanted to torture him for so long because he essentially defeated her by blocking her, but so she wanted that torture to last forever. But him losing his mind, he lost his mind too early.
I don't believe that he lost his mind.
Day-to-day existence was pain.
Yes.
Maybe just. Well, I'm dead now, so it's.
Yeah.
I can see both points. I can actually
But
I can
see
both.
what the other thing that I'm thinking right now is maybe one thing that I missed when I read this. In terms of the balance of Raistlin's evil to what's happening right here, I feel that it's like, okay, but he is stopping the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put that into the balance, he is sacrificing himself, and so that the end of the world does not happen. But at the same time, it's the end of the world that he brought on.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how that balances out in the scales, you know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm satisfied with the ending or not. I know that it's awesome. It's thought-provoking. It's full of awesome imagery. I don't know. Questions. Listeners, what do you think?
all I know is this book peaks here, and I don't care what happens after.
I concur.
Okay.
I stopped
The
taking
rage
notes.
is back. So chapter
Yes,
11
buckle up.
is the most ridiculous chapter in all 6 books. I can't believe. I even have in my notes, there are times I think that TSR had lines of crack for these guys to sniff. Because you come off...
They don't sniff crack.
Or sorry. Shows how little drug use I do. Sorry. Let's take that again.
Yeah.
No, actually, I think that works.
So,
Nerd. Okay.
I know plenty of nerds, and they
Yeah.
do a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. What do you sniff then? Heroin.
Coke.
Coke. Yeah.
Oh, that's. I knew it was a
can
case
also
of
sniff
heroin,
heroin,
but
but
I'll
you
go
don't
with
sniff
Coke.
crack.
I'll go
You
Coke.
smoke crack.
Coke. Okay.
Or so I've heard.
All right. So we're on to chapter 11, which for me is the worst chapter in all 6 books. I have written in my notes that there are times that I think at TSR people were sniffing lines of Coke because this makes no sense. You have the coolest climax. I mean, this is emotional. You know your readers are at an emotional state after reading this. But yet, like, that's where it should have ended. Right? Like the lines that I just read, that's where you end it. And from there, you go into your feel-good cleanup. The war's over. You're going home. But instead, they force us to retread everything through Tanis's perspective, which is so... Because you get Tanis waking up and I can't believe I even have to say this. But he calls everything like a wretched victory, which is just stupid. But he goes over and sees the Citadel outside as it flies over the bay, flips over, and words from the book, like a salt and pepper shaker, shakes the Draconians out, then dives into the water, and like a dolphin, porpoises out of it.
Yep.
3 times?
Hey, there was a few. I remember saying that you did it a few times.
So you have this incredibly powerful emotional scene in the abyss happening, and then you flash to Tanas watching Tass salt and pepper shaking Draconians out of a citadel.
Shake the Citadel. Shake it all around.
This is
shake the Citadel. Get the Draconians out.
I can't believe this is mind-boggling. I can't take this.
I have to ask, Luke, in the audiobook,
Did
they talk about this? Did they do this where it was like
briefly, I mean, I'm going to talk... this, even in audiobook form, I'm still reeling. I'm still in the fallout of what just happened.
Oh.
I didn't take notes. I don't care what happened.
Yeah. I mean, you have the death of the greatest character in this series.
Yeah.
The next chapter needs to be the bagpiper on the hill. This is where you sit and you allow your reader to take this in. Your salt and pepper shakering Draconians over a bit. This is the worst. The lowest this series has ever gone for me.
I just love that you sent me a text, I believe, saying, "Have you finished this? Because WTF?" And then that was when I was finishing it, and it was like, what did they do? Why? Why would they do this chapter? Yeah,
this whole chapter needs to be thrown away. Like, if you haven't read this book, don't ever read chapter 11. Like, cross it out, rip it out of your book. Don't ever read it.
It's like chapter 9 of, or not chapter. It's like season 9 of Scrubs. That just doesn't happen. 1 to 8.
Very good. Very good analogy.
Yeah. 1 to 8. That's all that exists.
Yeah.
All right, it's chapter 12.
Yeah, let's go to chapter 12 because I don't want to talk about 11 anymore because it's just awful. It is just awful. So, the end... Bertram fought off Draconians and got his name written in one of Vastinus's books.
This is the end.
I actually like this chapter because this is Bertram, right? I mean, he's never gotten anything. The one we say just like skips around singing his own name and stuff like that.
He's just kind of there.
It's cool. And so he gets his name in one of the books, so he's pumped. And we're just jumping around to people. Caramon and Taz return the book from the alternate future. Tass, sorry. What did I say?
You said call him Taz for some reason.
Oh, good lord. Good lord.
I think you're too loud.
I'm getting
southern on us.
I do think we said Taz. I think you used to say Taz like first autumn's twilight or something.
Taz. Whenever I do Tass, it's Caramon. It's Taz. I put an S on there, or a Z for some reason as Caramon.
Chrysania's okay. She got healed. The prayers healed her.
No, she's blind.
No, she's blind.
Yeah,
she's
except
blind,
for the blindness.
She's the blind female pope.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. She speaks at Elliston's funeral. Lots of words. At this point, I'm actually so jaded that I'm not taking a lot of this in. I'm like pushing through to get to the end of the book, and I'm real ticked. Like, I'm just so ticked at what happened that I'm not. A lot of this is not.
Dalamar
registering.
blocks up the laboratory, so you can't get to the portal anymore.
You're gonna take this key, and you're not gonna give it to anybody, not even me,
Right.
for all of eternity.
Right. And then
that job must suck. That guy's sitting there just kind of going,
yeah.
okay, so there's things that again at this point I'm saying I don't care about, but again to continue the weirdness, Lord Amalthus gives the flying citadel to Tass, so that he can just joyride around in it. Like there's part of this that I guess if you're a super fan, you might think this is funny. Like haha, Taz is out with rounds flying around in a citadel. At the same time, it's the stupidest thing. Like this is a flying citadel. You're giving it to Tass. Maybe you could defend your city with it, idiot.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. I guess it makes a cute ending. It's like I guess if you want this to be a Smurf Village ending for you. Yeah, Gargamel runs off and
it's two different universes existing within each other.
Yeah.
Caramon goes back to Tika. She's all happy because he's buff again.
Yeah. Actually, it's just like it's just like that. It's like you're bouncing
because he's sober.
It's like you're bouncing between Lord of the Rings and Smurfs.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah.
But then Tasselhoff doesn't even use the Citadel.
No, I think I'll just give you rounds.
So Rounce can fly it around.
No, but Rounce doesn't know how.
And who's he sitting on whose shoulders? Because he can't reach the controls. I don't know what's going on anymore. Whatever. The whole Burp clan is going to be there.
Because that's what you do is you take your Death Star, and you give it to the Ewoks.
Yeah. You know, Marge was sitting there going wouldn't it be funny if the Death Star was full of Ewoks and they just joyrided around the universe? No, Marge, not a good idea. But I can see this. I can see people around a table playing D&D thinking this is just hilarious. But maybe it's just because I'm so jaded. No, right now, I don't.
I am okay. D&D players would find that enjoyable.
I am okay with Tasselhoff's ending.
I do like Tasselhoff.
I like Tasselhoff's ending. Hey, I've never seen that spot on the map before. Ding, ding, ding. Wonk.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, blah.
Right.
Just fires up the magic pendant and leaves.
Right.
Yeah.
In this chapter, if there's one part that I do like, I like this scene of Dalamar closing up shop, where he's pulling all the curtains, and it's nobody's ever gonna.
Dalamar closes up shop. There's a whole thing about Taz is never accepted with the Kenders ever again.
Because he has feelings now. He's he's completely transformed.
Really, he's no longer. I missed that. I missed that he's no longer accepted.
And I do get the feeling with Dalamar closing up shop too. Because you get it's that little end of the movie montage where he's closing up shop and he puts that final brick. It's setting up for a sequel.
Yeah.
It's like at some point somebody's gonna get back in here again in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he even tells the Guardians that let nobody pass, even him. Nobody else can. Somebody's going to get past at some point. I'm sure there's 12 books.
I talked about either episode 1 or episode 2 when I listened to that interview with Margaret Weiss on that other podcast.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. It's a year ago. I don't remember. There is something about Raceland's daughter.
It was like Kegs and Cougars or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Something about beers.
It was something about beers.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I would listen the crap out of Kegs and Cougars.
Yeah, no, there's a thing about Raceland's daughter.
Yeah.
That is a thing.
Okay.
So he knocked up Chrysanthemum in the Abyss?
No, I bet you that's that Amber stuff.
It was Caramon's.
It's probably a trilogy we'll never get to. But we end up with, okay, I don't mind the homecoming. Then we have this little tacked on the end homecoming, which is what I like to see. Tika and Caramon getting back together, which, at the end of our song from last podcast, this is the Tika Love All Night.
Oh, yeah.
Fast pump slow.
Whoop-de-doo.
I love her. Tika awakens to a banging and grabs a skillet, so,
Tika awakens to... Really? That's how you're going to phrase that?
That's what she hears banging outside.
You don't just rape.
What's going on outside?
But that basically is what happens. Tika and Caramon just fall into each other's arms and they're banging for a while Tass is downstairs I'm gonna I don't know
do
what
stuff.
I'm gonna do.
Hey, look, she made crunchy muffins.
Yeah, which they shamelessly plug, Weiss and Hickman shamelessly plug their next universe in here, where the Kender is looking at a map and he sees on there a city named Marilon.
Is that what that is?
Marilon. It's a reference to the Dark Sword trilogy, which they were working on at the time. Yeah,
but I do like that. Like I said before,
that's kind of cool.
I
don't mind that.
I do like Tass's just. Hey, I've never been there before, and I don't think they're coming down anytime soon.
Yep. I like that Caramon takes down the plaque above the door for the room that he made for Raceland, like showing that he's finally over his, the burden that he's carried of his brother.
No, I feel like that's when you keep that there
as a memory, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, a room for my brother who I loved.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna convert it for children.
Yeah,
I don't know if you want your kids, your babies, laying in cribs in the room made for your, brother that almost became a dark god.
Let me tell you a story about your uncle who almost was an evil dark god.
Yeah.
You're in his room right now.
Almost killed your uncle.
Okay, when
Every family's got that one.
Almost killed your dad or your uncle. Or
I think when your mom was like lulled into a magical coma and died, your brother almost became a dark, evil, magical god. That's when you turn to Tika and talk about adoption. Something genetically needs to be stopped.
And you're an alcoholic.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's funny.
And your sister was a
Yeah.
It was a power hungry
sister.
psychotic.
like we talked about in the last podcast.
Yeah.
Well, honey, we have this history of addiction in our family.
Let's open a daycare.
My goodness.
Oh man.
So,
Whoa. Oh,
end.
are you
The
still there,
end.
listeners? Are you with us? Are you here?
hey, I hope you had fun with us. But that's us closing.
Hey,
yeah, and exactly, and that's-
ranting, raving, whatever.
Well, and that's the whole point is we're here having fun. We wouldn't have as much fun and we wouldn't get the emotions that we get from this series.
If we're not invested.
Correct. If we're not invested, if
Yeah.
we're not fans. We are fans. We just like to get excited about stuff.
We get excited about things, and when it doesn't go the way we want them to, we're going to call it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's it. That is the end of Test of the Twins. That is the end of the Dragonlance Legends Trilogy. That is the end, maybe, of Raceland.
No bloody end.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Paul, the trilogy, the book, the 6 books. I want to hear what you have to say.
All right, of all 6 books, but I'm going to specifically focus here on the Dragonlance Legends. I think out of all of the books, this one is probably my least favorite. I'm not somebody who really generally hates on books. I'm usually somebody who can suspend my belief in things and kind of go with the flow on a lot of things. This book was tough for me. There were parts I loved, and then there were parts where I just don't really know what happened because I would try reading it and just kind of, flip the page. Flip the page. Hey, look, we're back to something I like to listen to. The Lord Soth, the fighting when they were in the abyss, all of that. I loved. The entire Dragonlance Legends, overall, I'm going to say read it. And I'd say because I liked the first one and the second one, I say you have to finish them up and you kind of have to go with the Legends. But it's going to be a slog for a little bit. Because there are just parts that I did not care about and I won't care about. So Legends is kind of a forced recommend almost on me, where I have to say, I'm a completionist. You got to finish the trilogy. Right. If you start it, you might as well finish it.
So did you like book 1 and 2 of this trilogy? Like would you say hey, it was a really strong start, but this one just failed
I enjoyed
you,
them. I enjoyed them. They're not something that I absolutely love. I'm not a diehard fan of them.
Okay.
It's just a series that I enjoyed. As I've said for the books, they're fun to read. It is a simple book that I thoroughly enjoyed reading for the first 2, but I'm not a diehard fan. It's one of those where I will continue probably reading Dragonlance books, but not really seriously. It's just one of those that it's just fun.
They're fun.
It's a fun, easy,
popcorn.
easy. Yeah, I'll read it in an airport, something like that.
Right.
So, Legends Trilogy, I'd recommend it. The last book, It's a forced recommend, but I'd do it. Glob, what about you?
Hey, kids.
Oh god.
He's back.
Why does that make me laugh every time? I don't know why.
Dragonlance. Legends was at times so much stronger than Chronicles and
Yes.
felt so much better than Chronicles. But I am so disappointed in the last book.
Yeah.
And I will harken it back to this: is I am a huge Firefly fan.
Firefly?
Have another seltzer there, Cloud.
Another clam.
I mean, I have pudding if you want some.
I am a huge Firefly fan. However, the Firefly movie had so much retread in it. I still like it. I still watch it. But I loved the series building up to that so much that I felt that the movie was such a disappointment. That culmination movie was such a disappointment. Yeah. And
Good
that's
reference.
and that's kind of what I felt like here. I am going back into the Chronicles with my son. I'm starting that with my son. And I'm enjoying that a lot. And I'm enjoying revisiting Kryn through a younger set of disbelieving eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
When we get to Legends, War was such a strong book for me. War was such a strong book for me. Time was such a strong book for me. When we get to Test, there's so much. Like I kept referencing the clip shows, and that's just really so. I know this. I don't need to flip. Yeah, I know this. Flip. Oh, he's got 17 Banshees. And we've labeled it now as 17 Banshees instead of just Banshees, but it's still the same story. Flip.
Right.
I would have been a lot happier had it just ended with Raceland. Not even the wrap up. Right. Not even the happy let's put a bow on it and everybody went home wrap up. Just ended with Takhisis being defeated. And we kind of get to make our own story in my heads for everybody after that.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I like Caramon. I like Raceland. I wish Flint would have been here. Actually, to tell you the truth, I thought that throughout the whole series of Legends, is Flint would have made an interesting addition to a lot of the things that were going on, especially when we get to the Tanis scenes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like Dragonlance. I like Kryn. I like this universe. This is the worst book of the series for me, just because it felt like so much filler, and we talked about that at length. Right. But I like Legends. I like the series. I'll give the whole three a strong recommend. If you're into this, you read Chronicles, you want to read more, you want to find out what happens with them there Majir boys, you have to read this. You have to read this, and you have to understand what's going on. I loved Caramon's arc through here. Like I said, I liked a lot. Really liked a lot of the things in here. It's just I felt really let down by this last book.
Yep.
But I don't think that overshadows the trilogy itself.
Well said.
Luke, where are you sitting on this?
Here.
Whole back end of the General Lee.
Buckle up, kids.
Oh boy. Old Uncle Luke's gonna do some talking.
The time travel in this trilogy is absolute trash.
I was not prepared.
I was not prepared for that one, no.
Bullet point 1A.
Oh boy.
But
For those of you keeping score at home.
But if we're going to compare this to itself,
Okay.
the characters in the Legends trilogy are they're beholden to their own consequences,
Yeah.
whether it was in these books or in the Chronicles. I'll give it a plus for that. In the Chronicles, it was just kind of like, we have all these characters. They're just always going to exist, and nobody's going to die ever. Not in the Legends trilogy. There are stakes. Mind you, it's in book 3 right at the end. But there are consequences. And you know what? Even when I talk about the consequences, like the Kitiara, she doesn't get her redemption. Yeah, oh, Tannis, I love you. Yeah, well, Soth is going to torture you and just, like, do weird stuff to you in the ghost world. Forever.
Hashtag ghost rape.
No, hashtag ghost me too.
Wow.
Okay, I'm cutting that out.
It's okay. If I say wow, it's all right. That makes it know that we're self-aware.
Sorry, Luke.
Sorry.
Bullet point 3.
Bullet point 3.
It
Why
should.
do I feel like this is
I love
7?
I love this. I love
know.
this. I've never seen Luke.
This
just
should. It should have been Lorana and not Tannis.
Oh,
Yeah.
amen.
Absolutely.
Preach it, brother.
But that's my test of twins in a bubble. In 3 bullet points.
Help, I'm in a bubble.
Wow.
Let's talk about recommendations. What and we're at a point, you know, I even talked about this at the end of War of the Twins. Like, what do I do? Like, at the end of that book, I didn't know what to do. I'm just like, I don't recommend anything. Everything should go in the garbage. I don't care. But let's talk about things at the end of the Legends Trilogy. If I'm going to recommend Legends, I would have to recommend Chronicles. Because you have to read Chronicles if any of Legends is going to make any freaking sense.
Right.
So,
Oh boy.
I would not.
Into the garbage chute, Flyboy.
I would not recommend Legends.
Wow.
I would not recommend Chronicles
Whoa.
if you are a 28-year-old man.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
If you know somebody younger
Yeah.
who is like more leaning towards the fantasy side,
Yeah.
even if they're like, I kind of like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
May Dragonlance always be the gateway drug to fantasy for
Yeah.
children.
Right. Yeah.
May it always be that, because I feel like that's what it is. I feel like I'm at the end of this. I'm looking down from the top of a mountain on Kryn at the path I've traveled.
Wow.
And it's been a difficult journey, and I know that I've hated upon it the entire time. Like, but Raceland died, and I'm feeling sentimental. I don't know what to do. So just this book, I started reading a year ago. These books I started reading a year ago when I was 27 years old.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have. Where were these books? You know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Should've
Where
found them in your
were
youth.
They were there, you just not in front of your face.
where were they? Where were I was reading The Hobbit in the 6th grade and being like, "What that?" And I was,
Is there more Hobbitish stuff?
No, I was wondering, like, well, there's too many characters in this book. Could I have the same book but with just a few less characters? Yes, it was Dragons of Autumn Twilight. It was right there.
Barely a few.
Barely less. Barely less characters.
These books just missed me. I would highly recommend these for somebody of the appropriate age range.
Right.
I would never tell my adult friends to read these.
Well, no.
But I had so much dang fun reading these with you guys, getting to talk to our audience. I regret none of it.
Yeah.
I recommend none of it.
Wow. What interesting.
So
You recommend listening to us talk about
yes,
not the books
good
themselves.
Lord. And actually, I know a lot of people in real life who just like want nothing to do with these books, but just want to hear us talk about them. But that's enough rambling from me, Mr. Bob.
I am left.
I rambled for a little while.
I'm speechless. I never thought. Wow. I don't know what to say. That's amazing.
I wrote like and actually the last thing I put a little like hyphen all the other books ? And I'm sorry, I know.
Do it. Yeah.
I almost I ended chapter 10 on or 11 or no
10.
End of chapter 10 Raceland's death. I closed the book. I paused the audiobook. I just sat there and I really wanted to put a bow on this universe.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to come back to anything regarding this ever again.
Wow.
because like ended on a high note.
Yeah.
It's actually has nothing to do with books or anything, but actually I heard that from Johnny Knoxville when he quit Jackass. Like he just like it had its high note and he quit doing the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are so many things like I feel like fanboys and audiences they tend to like get overhyped on stuff and just want to drag it out and just kind of like bring it through the muck and mire, and it just ends up being drawn out and not any good anymore. And I feel like that's where I wanted this to end. But the Summer of Lance 3 is coming.
Hey, well, but I don't think Race is going to be dead for most of it. He's going to be coming back.
I don't want that. I don't want any of that.
Well, one's a prequel.
Summer of Lance 3.
One's a prequel.
Oh,
Summer of Lance 3. Live free, Lance hard.
Live free your life. We said we weren't going to reveal the name. Why did you just do
The
that?
Summer of Lance 3, please God, no. Okay, Bob, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No,
You guys have said basically a lot of the same sentiments, but at the same time, let me just say that let me try to make peace with our fans as well in some ways. We have in a lot of ways become Dragonlance apostles. So before you throw the tomatoes at us and hate on us, what are you doing? Because we are really like out there. We have got like our library did not have any of the books.
Yeah.
We had them order them all. I'm telling my kids constantly. I have like students in my class who are into books like this. I'm constantly pointing them to Dragonlance. So we are trying to foster a new generation, like you said, Luke, of kids who are into this Dragonlance universe. I think what you said, Luke, is true for myself as well, in a lot of ways. But I would put it as there are tons of things that I've read as a kid. Like, I mean, I went off at the beginning of this podcast about I'm reading He-Man comics that came with the toys.
We're gonna talk about your childhood books here next month.
Yeah,
Yes,
super cool when I was a kid. I would never say like, hey, you weren't into He-Man as a kid. You should get into some Motu comics. Oh, heck no, right? But I will dish it out with the buds who know about He-Man all the time. So I feel that's how it is a lot of times with Dragonlance. What we're kind of saying is not to make people who are super fans of this because they read them as kids. We're not going to like make it seem infantile that you're still into Dragonlance. That's not what we're saying. I'm into tons of stuff that my wife lets me know all the time is super infantile. Right? But it's just, it's what you grew up with. It's what you like. But yeah, I can't really ever see going up to a 28-year-old person being like, hey, Dragonlance, get into them.
You did.
We did. I did
You
do that.
did.
I
You
did
did
it.
that to me.
I did it. But as far as the Legends trilogy, Time of the Twins was super strong for me. War of the Twins was incredibly strong. I am shocked that fans find the middle book of this trilogy to be the weakest. This is so obviously the weakest. I think they're only because this is the end of Raceland's story and that's super powerful. They think that this is the best. No, that part is super powerful. It is this awesome thing surrounded by a bunch of filler and trash in a lot of ways.
Yes, we get the redemption of Vader and Jedi, but Empire is still the best movie.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
for sure. Yeah, I mean, this is surrounded in a lot of ways with Muppets. I mean, you've got Boop Boop, and you've got, Rounce with Taz on his bed, and they're dodging it. I mean, this is ridiculous in a lot of ways. So yeah, it's got its points. But I'm trying to shorten things up here. Great. I would say I recommend this trilogy, though. I do recommend both trilogies, but in kind of the same way you did, Luke. To a person of age, a person who likes this stuff. I would even recommend it to somebody who's like, hey, I read Forgotten Realms as a kid, never read Dragonlance. Would I like it? Well, if you still have the nostalgia for Forgotten Realms and that style, you probably will be okay with some of this stuff. They're all of a type, so you probably be okay. It depends. But hey, let's move on. We are moving on. We are moving on to Star Wars, and it is time for me to rip apart my own childhood.
Oh, are you
Good luck
going
with
to?
that, man.
I know.
Are you
Will
gonna,
I?
Are you going to sit here and take it from us?
I don't know if I'm going to be able, because how you guys are feeling out there. If you hate the way we treat these books sometimes, I've got to put up with it now because now my trilogy, who is my beloved trilogy, is going into the round table, and I'm super nervous.
As you should be. No, actually, I love Zahn. I love Zahn to death, but I can see right now. I haven't reread them in a couple years now.
Right.
Probably 10 years. So I can see, especially after us doing this podcast for over a
Especially
year
with
now.
the podcast lens too.
Yeah. And that's the thing is now looking at it through that podcast lens. We've been doing this for over a year. We're kind of hitting our stride. We're kind of rolling with the production of the show and everything. So yeah, I'm sure that there's going to be things that I'm like, I thought that was so cool when I was 17.
Yeah.
Or I thought that was so cool when
and now
I was
what's going
13.
on? Yeah.
And now I'm looking at it going,
right.
Why is he blue?
No, see, I'm already pissed.
Well, hey.
But by all means,
don't hit him.
By all means, folks, hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Facebook. Come talk to us. We will still do some tavern talk about some feedback from Test of the Twins on our next episode.
Even if you don't give a crap or two about Star Wars, come back for Tavern Talk.
Right.
We'll still talk.
And
to
you can keep posting things about Dragonlance. We can respond. I mean, we can be in the middle of a Star Wars trilogy and be like, "Hey, we still got this question about the Dragonlance. I think we did a couple things, but hey, we're fine with that."
And by all means, if you kick up something and you plugged in do androids dream of electric sheep and want to pop a question out there, by all means we will still talk about that stuff.
We still should at some point go back to that movie.
You mean the 5 hours of movies that I took notes on and we never recorded?
You took notes on those movies? Well, I
did, Bob.
Why are you saying?
Actually, Ted.
You should not say that to me.
I took notes on those, Ted.
For listeners who are wondering, I've got all the ads made, ready to go
for these movies. I've got all the notes written. I've got all the notes written, Ted.
I made character guide sheets.
All right.
Hey,
settle down.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Hey, go back to your corners.
We're not fighting. We're just mad at Ted.
Ted. Hey, I'm just gonna throw this out there just one more time. I don't want this to be like a thing that we complain about, but I know it isn't in our pre-recorded outros. If you can go on iTunes and you can leave us a 5-star review, that actually helps us reach more people.
Right.
Yeah.
And mind you, this isn't our living. This is our hobby. We're just doing this because we like to do it.
You're not going to have any commercials for Blue Apron on this thing.
Well, but you might have some for a really comfy mattress. Hey,
or a new wallet.
Stay tuned after the podcast.
Yeah.
Hey,
Stay tuned
hey, thanks for listening to us, folks.
Yes,
thanks
thank
for
you
jumping
so
in.
Much.
This is still a blast for us to do. We love all our listeners around the world. By all means, if you are, give us just a shout out on Facebook or Twitter saying, hey, cheers from Denmark, or Origatu from Japan, or wherever you're listening.
Origatu?
Origami,
Mr.
I don't know.
Roboto. Domo Origato.
Mr. Robot.
He's Mr. Mispronunciation.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Which is phenomenal considering what I do for a real life job.
I know.
All right, but by all means, folks, hit us up.
We love you.
We have one more round of draconian seltzer water.
But you know what? Paul's gonna be gone for a
I was
while.
going to say, I'm going to be taking a little bit of leave of absence here.
No!
So, you know what? My party
Paul's-
gift to you.
Paul will be
Is
back for
this
Xanth. You're back for Xanth.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Star Wars, Neil's coming back.
Yeah.
Neil's coming back. All right.
So,
everybody,
come here. I gotta get
love
this straight.
you. Hail Val.
Hail Val!
Thank you for listening to this episode of Dungeons and Dweebs. There's even more adventuring to be had at our website, dungeonsanddweebs.com. We would love to hear from you. You can email us at dungeonsanddweebspodcast@gmail.com. You can also find Dungeons and Dweebs on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Find all those links at dungeonsanddweebs.com. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please help spread the word by leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes. And music for Dungeons and Dweebs is Fatal Fight by Royalty Free Kings and can be found at their website, royaltyfreekings.com. Dungeons and Dweebs is a Tim Gilbert media production. Copyright 2017, all rights reserved. And no part of the show can be reproduced, repurposed, or redistributed without the expressed written permission of Tim Gilbert Media.
Okay, so we're coming back in.
We're recording.
All right, so we're back, cozied up on a brisk autumn.
What was that?
It was your old man wallet.
It's the Illuma wallet.
Available for only 3 easy payments of $15.99.
Hey. Unbreakable, but it'll squeeze out of your back pocket
like toothpaste.
You know when I want to make noise on my podcast, I go to my Illuma wallet.
Okay, let's take that again.
No,
that should be exit. Let's leave that on the end. That should be an end.